All right, and we are live. The last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, TieGuyTravis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. A lot of activity with these Guardian games, a lot of games being played, and partner showcases, and all the stuff that we're doing. And Travis is doing a bunch of things. But anyway, how you doing, man? How's the cheetah going? Let's start with you first.
Cheetah's pretty good. Actually
Ooh,
been playing a little Destiny.
I know what's
Man,
new.
I will tell you.
Wow.
No,
What's
I went to
that?
go log in because I was like, hey, Prophecy is going to be the dungeon this week. I went
Oh
in,
yeah,
made my
yeah.
guide, and recorded it and streamed it.
Very good guy. What?
The opening of Prophecy, when you have to collect the motes and then you go to dunk,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the button to dunk. That tells you how out of Destiny I has been.
Yo, I remember that problem. I was like, yo, how do you do it?
What
It does
button
the
does
thing.
what in this game? How long
Yeah,
has it
you've been
been? So I was
away.
like, I main this game. Maybe not.
Hmm. You've been away. You've been away. Fair enough. It's allowed. You're allowed to flirt and see other people. It's just an open relationship we have.
Yep. So yeah. So played Prophecy Guide, got that made on Monday. Showed a
Nice.
little bit of the Thaumaturge to my stream. Reviews
Nice.
also came out.
Thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturge.
Reviews also came out like middle of the day while I was streaming.
Mhm.
And one of those where I landed in a different spot than a lot of other people. So it's kind of one of
Okay.
those that I know I didn't get that far enough into it to do a full review. So it's like I wouldn't have just like thrown a half-ass one out there anyway.
Mhm.
But it was one for me. There were mixed reviews, like it being like a 5 to a 9. I guess
Mhm.
it's one of those that's kind of divisive. I was on the lower end for sure,
Okay.
6-ish kind of
Okay.
thing for me, just because when I got into the combat, I showed some of stream, what was going on, and just kind of some of the story. And even when I read, this is one of those where it's like, it's interesting to have the perspective of like, all right, I know what thoughts in my mind, I know kind of where I would score it. And then you read the words of review, not the number,
Mhm.
but you read the words of review and you're like, these words don't quite feel like
Right.
they match the number at
The
the
number.
bottom, which is
Yeah.
always interesting. And that's again where everybody puts weight to, is story more important to you? Is like the environmental setup? Is combat not a big deal to you? Is like, and just kind of where you put your weight. And that's, different people have different review styles and focuses for certain games. But it was just interesting to kind of go through like that process of being in my own little bubble again and kind of
Yeah.
going, I don't know if I'm gonna. It's like I told you guys that I was struggling to continue to play it. And I tried 1 or 2 more times. I got
Mm.
about 7 or 8 hours in, and maybe 9, something like that. And there was one piece of combat that I like struggled with a little bit, and then I kind of figured out the mechanic and beat it. But it was more just I don't know if I want to do 20 hours of this since I got 6, 7, 8, whatever it was. I was like, I don't know if I need
Mhm.
to see the rest.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I'm not gonna do a review if I only go, the first third, maybe half in. But to see the difference where other people landed was quite interesting to
Mm.
just kind of know where other people
Different
were.
strokes, man.
Do what?
Mhm.
What'd you say,
Different
Trent?
strokes, man.
Oh yeah. No, and that's
Mhm.
why I mean, the easiest thing I can say is it's just not a game for me. Like if you want to
Yeah.
focus on 1905 Warsaw with the, issues of everything going on in that region at the time, and then the thing about it was though is like when I saw the previews, and it's the reason why I reached out, is like conceptually it kind of sounded cool, like it would have hit
Yeah.
with me a little bit more, but it
Mhm.
just didn't come together for I guess what I thought I was hoping for. It
That's
was a
fair.
weird one. But yeah, we'll talk about Destiny here in a little bit, and then I'm trying to just kind of be on top of everything else coming out this month. Saw
Mhm.
a little bit on Snow Day, which is coming. That actually looks interesting. I saw you
Oh,
guys do a little bit of coverage on IGN. There's just a couple other. There's a lot of stuff that kind of keeps getting announced. I gotta tell you though, the one
what?
actually that I'm probably the most intrigued about, it's the altars.
Yes.
It
I
is
thought it
such
showed
a
well. Yeah.
the concept of having your world in this mobile space station on a planet kind of thing. But the way you managed it, but it still had full third person like exploration,
Mhm.
and then the concept of one person voicing all the different personalities.
And all
I
the
don't know.
different timelines of yourself based on your
Yeah,
decisions and
depending on what
stuff.
your
It
decision
was
is, depending on the character of that
the
one.
alters. It was at the Xbox Partner
Yeah, it was
Showcase.
the
You've seen
Xbox
it
stuff
before,
yesterday.
Trav.
Yeah.
They also
Oh,
showed it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
before
Okay,
at the
okay.
Game Awards prior. That was its
Yeah,
initial debut, and then a little bit more in depth at the Partner Showcase
Yeah.
this week.
I didn't
Mm.
remember seeing it
yeah. I
before,
had the
but
showcase on, but it was on like a second screen. I was doing something else, so I
yeah.
think I probably missed a little bit of that.
That one looked cool. And then I know you guys previewed Unknown 9, I think, today. There's that like almost kind
Yeah,
of noir. Um, It's like stealth 3D game with kind of the cool like stylistic art. It was like the second trailer that was shown.
Yeah, I would describe it as like a third-person action adventure. It's like,
For
you
what,
know,
Unknown
the
9? Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
no.
No, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
thinking of the one
Yeah.
that Pure was right after that. It was the
Yeah.
girls, like, with the
With the
cards, with
feet.
the stealth 3D kinda one.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Base in
Yeah.
India, that one?
The
I
what?
can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused, but I'm getting my games mixed up. You're talking about something
No.
else.
Unknown 9 is the one in India. Yeah.
Yeah, Unknown 9 is the one in India.
No, I
Yeah, correct.
tweeted a bunch of them yesterday because I was
Mhm.
live tweeting it for some reason. Where did it go? Sleight of hand.
Oh, the horror joint.
Yeah, not so horror-y. It was like
What
the
the hell
lady
is it?
with, like, the black hair, and
Mhm.
then but she had, like, the deck of cards. It was what do they call it? It was a
Oh, that
hard-boiled
was the very
third-person
first
stealth
one.
sim.
Yes, the
It was
very
right
first one they
after
called.
Unknown.
Yes, correct, correct. I do remember now.
And then you had, like, the Pied Piper, um, animal game, which was in there. Um, yeah, the one I actually probably most pumped besides Altars is the first Berserker Kazan. 'Cause it's like an anime
Mm,
Souls, and the way they did the art
yeah,
style, it looks like
dope.
kind of a cool mesh. I like that one.
They gotta fix that frame
Hmm.
rate though. They gotta fix that frame rate.
It's not out
That's
yet.
right. That frame rate gotta get. Don't be putting. I think ask Travis this question. I've always wanted to know this. 'Cause Travis might know. We talked about it on LP in the showcase. Like when you have a partner showcase, who ultimately? I know the developer. Sometimes they want to meet. Whether it be the window for presenting, but like who signs off and says yes? And like, can someone reject it and be like, hey, you know what? That frame rate ain't there. Because I'm very curious. They have to know when there's a technical issue with whatever a preview is happening. So it's like, who gets
Yeah.
the ultimate sign off? Is it the publisher or is it like, hey, we're gonna let them come in because they submitted this, they want to be a part of this?
The publisher would most likely have control over whether a game was ready to be shown, right? Because they're
Mhm,
deciding the distribution method and they're saying, yeah, we don't think this is for Limelight yet. And I don't think that that would be negotiated between the developer and the person hosting the show.
mhm,
The person hosting the show probably just wants to get as many cool and interesting games or high profile games out onto their
mhm,
show floor. But I don't think anyone, developer, publisher, or the show hoster,
mhm.
wants to show anything that isn't ready for Limelight because that's bad for pretty much everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So,
that's what I'm saying. I'm
um,
surprised. I see it slip through a couple of these different showcases lately where some of the frame rates on some of these games ain't the greatest and it's a little noticeable. So I'm like, I wonder, who signs off on them. But if the publisher may have control, they ultimately, you know, still put it out there, I
they're
guess.
probably just thinking it's good enough and it's a proof
Yeah.
of concept. And
Yeah.
I think
Mm,
historically people have been less crazy about that when you're showcasing a game because they're unfinished products. But not
mhm.
everybody is reasonable online. They expect, you're going to show
You
the game
finish
and
them.
it's going to
Yeah.
be a absolutely perfect performance. But
Mhm.
as somebody who plays a bunch of games that are not out yet, that is extremely rare. Usually, optimization is the last
The
thing that
last
you
thing.
do when you work on a game, which
Hmm.
is why so many games come out and everything is good except for the
Hmm.
performance and the optimization because it's
Cool.
last on the
Yeah,
list.
that's day
Makes
one
sense.
patch, like, week later kinda thing seems to be more
Hmm.
and
Yep.
more from what I'm doing a little
Which
bit
is
of
how
what
it should
Travis is
work, by
doing,
the
but
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is how it should work, by the way, because you don't usually waste time optimizing a game if it's not in its final state or close to it, because that's a
Mhm.
whole lot of work for things that might change,
Mhm.
right? So,
There was something even recently, I can't remember what game it was because it's, like, on the tip of my tongue. They actually it was Alan Wake. I think they lowered the minimum requirements to play it. They kind of optimized it even more later for more people to play
Mhm.
it for Alan Wake 2, which I thought
yeah,
was kinda cool, so
that's
that's
common. Also, adding 60 FPS modes is
oh,
common
yeah.
now, or adding performance modes and higher refresh rates and stuff like that. Even Destiny, we had a mid game refresh a
Mhm.
couple years ago. So.
Yeah. So that's been it, E.
Yeah, I mean, we just kinda covered a lot
Mhm.
of it, but yeah. Playing some
Yeah.
games, doing some things, video's doing alright, so not too shabby.
No doubt. Trav, what you been up to, man?
Yeah, previewing games and reviewing games. Reviewed the Outlast Trials last week. This week, I just finished reviewing Contra, the Galaga Operation Galaga, the new Contra game made by the same team that made
Yeah.
Contra 4,
Let's go. How's that
which
feeling?
I will be able to talk about
Oh,
on
okay. Okay.
Monday.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Can't talk about it now.
Mm-hmm.
And then my next review is the South Park game, No
Mm.
Day. South Park multiplayer game, so we'll see how
Uh,
that is. And then, yeah, I've been doing some previews too. Most I can't talk about because it's all GDC stuff. For those who don't know, GDC, or the Game Developer Conference, happens in San Francisco every year in the month of March, and I'm getting ready to do a bunch of coverage for that, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Always is. It's also just cool because GDC has sort of become E3 of sorts. Like, it's the only event really that I can remember where like almost every single developer still goes to it, and it's an in-person event. So it's kind of cool to feel the industry around,
hmm
which is cool. And so I'm getting ready for that. And then I previewed a game called Unknown 9 Awakening, which
Nice.
is the debut game from a brand new studio. It's a new IP. They created web comics and an audio drama, like kind of a scripted podcast,
hmm
and a bunch of other books. There's like a novel trilogy as well
Really?
that are sort of building out the universe, all just for this game series that they
Wow.
want to launch. And so the first one is this game Awakening. So it's a pretty ambitious project. It's
hmm
definitely double A in terms of like
hmm
their tech and scope of how things are and how they look. But I think it has potential. It's coming out this summer.
Yeah.
I did not get to play it, but they showed us an hour of gameplay jumping around different levels and showing
Mm.
us different stuff that was in the game. And
Reflector, right? I
uh,
think it's Reflector. Might be.
Reflector is the name of the studio, correct?
hmm
Hmm.
And it's pretty it's interesting. Any day we get to hear about a
Mhm.
new IP is a good day in my
Yeah.
book, because I think that's where the exciting stuff comes from, frankly.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it, and people can check out that preview on
Nice.
IGN.com if they would
Nice.
like.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it had potential. She had like the little time stopping powers, or she had abilities.
Mhm.
I like the setting. I believe that was the Indian game. I think that was when it was India, and I think it's
That was the
Bando.
one in India.
Yeah, that was the one.
Bandai Namco is the publisher,
Yeah, like the
Publisher.
and
little
then
like time stops and stuff like that looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. So
the
that,
main power isn't the time stops, though. It's the fact that you can this thing called stepping, where you
mm.
can basically jump out of your body and possess an enemy.
Oh
Oh,
And when
that's
wow.
right. I
you
saw that.
yeah, when you possess the enemy, you have access to all of their abilities. So if they have
Mm,
special move sets or whatever, like you can possess this big like chonky enemy called the Bruiser, and then he's got like a ground pound, so you can use it to like destroy an explosive barrel or whatever and cause
mhm.
everybody else to explode. And you basically can like possess the enemies, and you can also chain them. So you can possess one and then jump from that guy's body to a different guy's body and like set up all these things that happen. And then when you jump back into your body, they all happen at the same time. So you kind
Sick.
of see like your mayhem unfold. It's pretty interesting. I actually read the web comics and listened to part of the audio drama for the
Nice.
preview as well.
Wow, they got a
So
backstory.
um, yeah, they are really working on the world building and stuff, which is
hmm
cool. So that was fun.
Yeah, Teddy's a jump from this guy's body to a different guy's body. Oh my.
Yeah, sounds like my average
So
weekend.
Yo,
Yeah,
Teddy,
for sure.
man, love you, bruh. You hit me with that goodness, that
Hey,
new,
but oh,
that Shinobi, that ninja goodness. Shout out to Travis for hooking him up and letting him know. Oh man, I was going crazy, geeking out, brother. This made my day when I saw that shipment. I was like, oh, okay,
cool.
yeah, man.
Yeah, he
Anything
hasn't
else?
sent me anything. He's just not a very good friend.
Thought that
He
doesn't
sent
sound bitter
Ebontis
at all.
something, Og
yeah.
something. Nothing for Papa Travis. Nothing at all. I'm
Of
just
the three people
I'm
on
messing
this
with you.
podcast, do you think you qualify as Papa?
Uh, he said he hand delivered yours, Trav.
Yeah,
Hand
yeah, no.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
delivered.
Speaking of jumping from one guy
Jumping
to
it from
another
one body
guy.
to another body.
Oh
Yeah,
What,
yeah,
God.
what
that's
part of
right.
this
Yeah, for
hand
sure.
delivery?
This didn't
Yeah,
take
for
long
sure,
to get
dude.
out of hand. Oh, sorry.
Nah, out of pocket.
Definitely out of pocket.
Out of pocket, out of hand.
Yeah, no, Teddy's great. He brings me swag every time he sees me, and I'm gonna see him in August when he attends my wedding. I'm gonna see all of you in August when you attend
Yes,
my wedding, sirs.
indeed.
Oh, look at that! He's
That
right
Ready.
was
there.
that's
Do you
the
have every
drive-by.
object
I got
any
everything
one of us
ready.
has ever given you? It's
His
like right
entire
here. The
apartment is
game,
off screen. He's like,
Maddie,
I've got access to
yeah,
everything I need. Free
Maddie
geeks,
teasing me.
$2
He's like,
super chat, hand delivered.
yeah. 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 He's like, how do you have things ready? I was like, because I already think about things
yeah.
I
You
always
have them all around you
ready
in
to
a
go.
circle. It's very
Uh,
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Other than that, it's pretty much the same things you guys are doing. I was really impressed with the partner showcase. I'm a big fan of the double A in the indie scene, and I feel like a lot of the creativity comes from these spaces. So I like
without
it. I like what they.
question.
Yeah, I love what I see. I think the altars, me and you are right there. I thought that was such a unique concept. I love what they're doing, and they got their little
Oh,
planetary
the
house.
altars.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I previewed the altars months ago, so I know a
Okay.
bunch about that game.
Yeah.
Can you
So I
talk
can talk
about it?
about that one. I can talk about that one. Yeah,
Okay.
what do you guys want to know? I saw a
Oh, you
bunch of
can.
that
You
game
can. You can.
ago. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
can.
cool. Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
All right. So they look like the exploration part with the planet stuff. So I'm getting, is it like when you're dealing with the multiple versions of
Mhm,
yourself, is it like
mhm.
base building? What's that component of the game? Like, because it looks cool. It's
Yeah,
like side to side,
so
whatever.
so it's kind of like, a survival game. I don't know if you guys have played Pikmin, but it kind of reminds me of Pikmin because you know how in Pikmin you're stranded on a planet and you have the time counter that's going down until, like, you die if you don't find a way
Right.
to get off? It's basically the same. You're on a planet
Mm,
and you have this big machine that is able to move forward, and the reason you need to move forward is because when the sun comes up, it's gonna cook you. It's just gonna kill everybody, and so you
mm,
have a timer where you have to move forward every so often as the sun slowly rises on the planet. And
wow.
so every act of the game, your machine reaches some sort of barrier that doesn't let you go forward anymore, and you have to get out of your ship and collect resources and do like a survival crafting part of the game
Mm,
in order to overcome whatever that obstacle is
mm,
before whatever deadline you have. And so the
got it.
deadlines are different, and some areas you have to do
Oh.
faster or slower.
Mhm,
And so you get out and you do like a collection survival stuff, which is mostly just solving puzzles. And then
mm,
when you're inside, it's about strategically figuring out which alternate versions of yourself you're going to incubate
mhm,
so that you can get certain things. So you'll be like, oh, well, we're going to starve unless we have like a botanist who can grow things. So
mhm.
I'm going to go through my personal history and I'm going to look at the different threads where maybe I became a botanist. And then I'm going to hatch
Wow.
that guy and then you have to wait for an incubation period, and then when they're hatched, they become a player
Mm,
that you can tell to do things and interact with. But the
mhm.
problem is every single other timeline except for yours, pretty much without question, has all of these really big psychological problems because of stuff that happened in their lives. And so, like in one of them, you become a miner and you lose your arm, and then you become addicted to like painkillers, and so like you're really unpredictable, and that version of you is
Yeah.
like a problem right at the beginning. Like he's just like, all right, I know you're gonna be like a big issue.
Oh, I love this.
So
This is a
you
card
have to
game.
deal with that. And it's cool because you get to decide which order you're gonna summon these guys in, and they
Mm,
interact with each other and get into fights and stuff. And yeah, I saw a really extensive demo on that game, and it's one of the
nice.
coolest things. I think my headline was one of the weirdest games I've seen in recent years, and I'm super down. And
I'm
Yeah.
super hyped for
yeah,
that.
sorry, I thought you guys were saying altars with an A. Now that I know you
Mhm.
guys are saying altars with an E, I'm like, yes, I know
Yeah.
that game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
covered it a couple
Oh,
months ago.
bro. Yeah, that I love weird. I love new ideas like this. So I gotta support. And then my other second quirky one, and he called it, he knows me well, was Path of the Goddess. Path of the Goddess is I didn't know what it was at first. It was just
It was hard to
action.
tell until they showed a little more. Like early, the first time I got a glimpse, I was like, I don't actually know what's happening.
But what's
I
happening,
think
right?
that was like maybe Game Awards trailer, and then this one they
Yes.
explained a little more.
So yeah, that's the Game Pass joint from Capcom, new IP. So basically you're the protector of this, this princess or whatever. And now we learn about the purifying mechanic when you go from, area to area. But the thing that I like that they show you, if you saw the latest trailer, was that you get to a town and then you can use the villagers and stuff to set up to defend, and then there's a night cycle where there's waves attacking, so then it becomes a little turn-based. It's actiony and then it's it looks cool, so it has my full attention. I thought it's really Japanese inspired. The art style is absolutely beautiful. It gets all my ninja isms, samurai isms, all of that, and just mystical Japanese mythology kind of energy. So I'm in all the way. So yeah, big fan so far. Those are the two that really. And Zal looked good
Oh
again.
yeah,
Was
I
it
mean,
Tales of
I gotta
Cantera?
play that.
Oh
I gotta listen
yeah.
to. I gotta finish the XCast because they had
Oh, they had him on.
main main guy had they had him on this week for the interview. So I gotta
Oh,
listen
that's
to that.
dope. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, salute.
Speaking of weird games, man, I will tell you, my early
Mhm.
impressions of Pacific Drive when I didn't quite have the loop weren't great. But the more I keep thinking about that game, the more it just sits with me as a really, really good one. I see more people on Twitter like really having positive reviews
Mhm.
and good times with it. And when I finished that game, I was just like grinning. I was like, this was just a cool and that's what you said.
Mhm.
It's a unique, weird experience. I'm like a survival
Which game?
Pacific Drive,
Pacific.
survival station
Mm.
wagon, and I was like,
Mhm.
when you go through the journey and you're
Yeah, it's
like,
cool.
this is so weird, but so cool. I was like tinkering with the car and changing out tires, and it's like it's a weird Venn diagram that's gonna enjoy that game, but I'm glad it
Mhm.
exists. That's kind of one of
Yeah.
those. So
Very
that's
Mhm.
a
cool.
fun one.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of
Cog, how about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, just
have
that,
you
like I
been
said,
living in
that.
Rebirth or
Yeah, I started. I'm in the what I realized with the open world, I didn't know if I
Grassland?
was yeah, the grasslands. I didn't know if I was
Yeah.
gonna okay, you'll jump in?
I was just gonna say I had 100% of the grasslands last week, and then have not played a second
Yeah.
after. So, and I probably won't for hell long because
Yeah,
I've
'cause you're
got so
busy,
much
so
stuff
much
coming
stuff
up.
to cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so much. But I wasn't sure I was gonna like the transition to open world from what they did prior. But actually, I do like it. Some of the reward, the questing is really cool. I do like what they're doing now. With the choco was are adorable.
oh,
You
they
go
look like
around, you
it,
do the
yeah.
yeah, you do the thing, and you whatever sign, and then like
There's a
now they got.
reason they're the only thing that makes it in between every Final Fantasy game, regardless of universe.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's probably true.
I thought the way that
They're
they
the
handle,
Pikachu.
yeah, 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 exactly. That you know exactly what it is.
Ah, that makes
Gotta have
yeah.
a Pikachu.
Gotta have your
Yeah.
I
Pikachu,
thought
yeah.
they were a little too aggressive at first with the Queen's Blood game because I'm like, at first, I just wanted to play the Final Fantasy instead
Oh,
of
but I've heard people
Queen's
get
Blood.
hooked.
But what happens is you start to learn the mechanics and the territorial aspect, and then I go to every town and look for the Queen's Blood players to
Oh,
thrash them and
now the hooks are in. Now you gotta beat them. Now you
yeah,
gotta get them all.
yeah.
Gotta
I'm into it now a bit, and yeah, like I said, the open world
so
is now.
Sujimon, Queen's Blood,
Yeah, all the
side
mini gigs.
games are apparently one of your main games.
If done well, like
Yeah.
most of the time, I
Yeah.
usually avoid that stuff. But if done well, yeah, Sujimon is my job. You already know.
I mean, yeah, so that's my main game that I'm playing in my free time, and I think I'm getting pretty close to the end. It's
Where you
starting to
at?
feel wrappy-uppy.
Oh, Infinite,
But
Infinite.
I'm Infinite Wealth, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta talk to you
It's a
about
good
that.
game.
So you
It's a
going?
good
You
game.
already back and forth, right? You doing the back and
I've been
forth.
back and forth a few times, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. And I just without spoiling too much, did damn, we got to talk about because I got questions that I want to know when you got. What you say like you're like what chapter if you had to guess? If you had to guess, like
14, maybe?
oh, you're close. Oh yeah, you're there. Oh, you're there. Okay,
No,
okay.
I think there's 18 chapters, aren't there?
Yeah, I think
I
it's
think
like
there's quite a
16
few.
or whatever. Did you
Okay.
finish up the Hawaiian portion? Yeah. As far
I don't
as
think so.
okay, okay, because that
I
that
think
was good
stuff is
though.
still going on there,
Got
but,
it. Okay,
yeah, I'm not sure.
gotcha. But you're doing at least the memories, Kiryu and the
Oh, yeah, the
combat.
memories are long gone. I think I have all the memories in Kiryu. Yeah,
Gotcha. Fair
yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
So
Infinite
stuff is
wealth.
definitely wrapping up, but,
Mhm.
yeah, that game is great, and I'm probably gonna do New Game Plus on Legend difficulty because my characters are getting
Oh
pretty high
man,
level.
yeah, I did.
I heard when you start Legend difficulty, the opening area, the enemies are level 75, so I'm gonna try
Oh,
to see if I can finish this
the
playthrough
trap.
at level 75 or more, and then go to
Tell,
Legend. That's the
tell me
goal.
it ain't hilarious. This feels like some real urban hood game. Like when you walk around and you in a neighborhood you're not supposed to, and they got the purple crown in their head and they sitting there and they in areas where you know you got to get past. And
Mhm.
yeah, I
"It's
think
not a show, shithead."
yeah, that's just that's my trick when they say that. Then you see them when they four deep in a car and they come and spin the block and pull up on
Dude,
you.
the car one is so funny to me when they just roll through. Honestly, the idea of doing a turn-based instanced RPG where you run into random encounters makes absolutely no sense in an urban setting. Like, there's just mobs of people running around looking for a fight at all times, but it's so Japanese that it just works. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
enjoying it,
love it.
man. It's a really,
Absolutely.
really fun game.
Yeah, and other than that, playing a lot of this other game called Destiny.
What?
Playing a lot of it
I'm
actually.
Alright.
actually playing Destiny 2, I'll be honest.
Mm.
That's the reason I was late. I
As
was in a
opposed to
Crucible
Destiny
match.
1. You were in a Crucible match, that's why you were late?
Mm.
Yeah.
Alright.
I got to talk about
I'm not
Crucible.
putting down the controller during a Crucible match. By the way, can we just kick off with what the heck's going on with Crucible? Have you guys played
Yes,
Crucible?
Well, I've
I
only
didn't.
played Supremacy, which is the one thing that is not affected by the patch right now because that's part of Guardian game, so I've been going back and forth, but the Supremacy node is the only thing that's not. But I haven't played the
Bro,
other, so I don't know.
I'm sitting there thinking I'm in the new meta, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, what has changed? I'm still killing with the
Nothing's
same.
changed.
I'm like, what? I didn't see any.
Yeah,
I thought I was bugging out. I'm like,
that's
what? Yeah, go ahead, Trav, because I'm curious. Like,
yeah, that's
I,
what I was
I
gonna
was,
say is like I'm surprised how little the meta has changed. It seems like everybody's still using submachine guns and the like. And then also I have not been in a single match
have you got any
that
new
has
maps?
not had a whole bunch of people drop out, like, as
Oh
soon as
wow,
the level
yeah.
starts,
I've
like,
heard
basically,
some.
Mhm.
as soon as they fall behind, like, if you fall behind even a little bit, your team is gone, and you're sitting there with 2 people, which then means that the matches take hella long because
No.
there's fewer people to kill, and so you're just getting farmed for kills, and then it kinda punishes you for sticking around, and I'm like, this I mean, the actual mechanics don't feel too bad. They kind of feel samey. Like I feel like my existing loadout was working great, which is a little weird because considering I haven't really played Crucible in so long. But I will say the quitting thing is really
Mm,
bizarre. I did see Vigilant Swing. A lot of people are using that in Crucible. I got killed.
Vigilance is outside. Okay.
I literally just saw
But yeah,
something from like
no mercy
Cross.
in
Yeah.
Supremacy is a mistake for sure, especially with the quit rates.
Right.
It's
Yeah, I know.
wild.
I noticed the matchmaking was definitely much longer. So the population is low because,
Very
I
slow.
think
oh my
everybody's
Yeah.
busy
god,
with other stuff right now because they
yeah.
put
So
Guardian Games all over the directory.
we'll get to that. So I
Yeah.
figure let's start with the PvP first. You know, what I'm saying, but yeah, that was the first thing. So shout out to them for letting us know in the patch notes that the matchmaking, the new meta, is not part of it. Um, did you try the new what is it? The wave frame? Because I got the god roll. Is it the arc shot,
The
hook shot?
Hullabaloo? The new
Yeah, the
one?
hullabaloo. I want to try it in PvP because I'm still not a fan of this archetype in PvE. So I'm
Wave
curious.
frames in PvP? No. Yeah,
I'm
the
curious.
trace rifles in PvP, I've never except for laser tag weekend, I've
Mhm.
never really been a fan of.
No, he's talking
No,
about
but
the
the new
wave
one,
frame grenade launcher,
grenade launcher
but
heavy.
it's a heavy wave
Mhm.
frame grenade launcher, so it's the damage that travels
Oh,
across the ground. We
Yeah.
only
oh
have one
damn, I
other one.
got that after the first mission, but I think I just dismantled it because I thought it was just a grenade launcher.
Yeah, it's the new joint.
Yeah.
It's the old. It's like the only second archetype.
Whoops.
So we blame you. It looks like an edge transit in silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally, I was like, "Oh, this is like a reskinned Edge Transit," and I just deleted it. I didn't even look at it and
No,
notice it was
yeah,
a
I
trace
saw the
rifle.
Edge Transit meme pop up once, so I saw. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yep, that is that." No,
No,
it's
literally, I didn't see that meme, and I thought it was an Edge Transit. So, like, actually, I was like, "Oh, I'll just delete this."
so I
Oh, great
can't.
geeks. Yeah.
It's weird. Like it has a unique combination of volt shot and chain reaction. Problem with
Hmm.
volt shot is you have to reload, and you're talking about a grenade launcher. That's not
With a
exactly
heavy.
optimal. Yeah, it's not going to be a fast reload that you get a volt shot, which then maybe. But the other issue is like, how often am I ever trying to use a heavy to clear miners, which is what you're
And
typically looking at, and then you're sitting there
exactly.
going, I have my primaries for this. Maybe I've got, a fusion rifle to clear up some mid-level guys. Heavy's got to be for the big stuff. So it's weird. So unless it's some dude with his feet planted on the floor, where you're
Yep.
just trying to cook the ground, I haven't done a damage test like that. So it
Hmm.
would depend on the enemy. Because
Yeah.
it's like even if it's a wizard and that kind of hover, you could probably still get the wave to hit him kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna be anything that's that exciting. I have,
Yeah.
I got like a couple different roles that might be okay, so it's like I'll, play through and think about it. The
Hmm.
title has a chance for repulsor brace and destabilizing rounds for a combo. So I would
Yeah, I have
like
that.
to kind of have that for a void SMG since like outside of funnel web, I haven't had a, really lean into the void SMG kind
Hmm.
of thing. Um
Yeah, I'll jump in because yeah, that was my thing. I had high hopes for it because obviously Waveframe's got the 30, what is it, 30% or whatever it is buff.
yeah.
Clearly they wanted to make this a big showcase item, one of the showcase items for Guardian games outside of the hoverboards. We're gonna get to them hoverboards, we're gonna get to that. But as far as this, I have to go in and
Oh,
I'm just like I'm not really feeling this because at the end of the day, if a boss is elevated or you fight like a Vex Mind or something like that, that thing's useless. And then I was like, well, maybe it's PvP, but then three geeks are saying, hey, it's not even that great in
I
PvP.
mean,
But
just
that's
use a special one at that point that you could probably get the same
yeah,
option
useful.
out of.
Yeah, use it
And
forbearance in that spot. I'm not
yeah,
going to use that joint. But other than that, I want to shout out Taraxapros, the strand, what you call that
that's
came
from
back.
last year. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's really good. It was good back then. It's even better now. It's sick in PvP. It's sick in PvE. If you get the explosive head.
I'll give a shout out to Vigilant Swing.
Oh, visuals is
Actually
nice.
great now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vigilance is
It
nice.
kind of hits like a auto rifle, weirdly.
Makes sense how
Yes.
fast it's a 5 burst.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the deterministic pattern on that. I would like that, and it's obviously some sick rolls with thing. But I'll go in real quick with my experience. I've always liked guarding games. My two favorite games events have always been the Dawning and Guardian games. And Guardian games for me,
Like baking those
obviously,
cookies.
I always like baking the cookies. You know what I'm saying? The end of the
Hate
year,
Guardian. Hate it.
talking to grandma, making the cookies, getting the thing. For me, this one is, we know what the spirit should be. And it seems like each year they're at least trying to make a Warlock versus Titans, and they're at least trying to get into the spirit of it, including with the matchmaking. But I do like that it showers you with loot. I like the little platforms you go and you light them up, and it's a very Olympic feel, right? So you got that. But doing the Nightfalls, I haven't done it in a while. You know, what I'm saying the competitive aspect, and then now realizing thanks to your video, which was not explained by Bungie, is the way to get the higher score, because I'm trying to get in the top percent, because I need this hoverboard,
Mhm.
is you need to emote before finishing champions, where there was no indicator of any
No,
of
I mean, it's been
this.
that way for like 3 years. It's the same medal that was there before. I was streaming and somebody in Twitch was like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Oh, yep, that's a thing." So then I
Mhm,
did my guide about trying to get top 10%. The problem with that
mhm,
whole concept, and I tweeted at the Bungie team about this, or at the Destiny 2 team.
mhm,
So there's 2 issues. Each day it's been a different strike. So the
mhm,
first day I ran solo, I got about 232,000 by myself.
mhm.
So far, I have had a higher score by myself every time because I've ever run with a group. No one knows what the hell they're doing, and they just shoot stuff and get no points. It's fun. But by myself, I got 232,000. Live Mondo, we had him on this a while ago. He does some really good solo stuff. He got like 250. I was like, okay, kind of probably where you're going to be close to maxing out, 250, 260.
Mhm.
Next day, the strike changed. First
Yep.
time I ran it,
Last minute thing.
307,000 or something like that.
Mm,
Not even like going over effort. Just the amount of champions, the amount of enemies, just the way it's set up, still
mhm.
within time. It was
Right.
inverted spire. And
Right.
then today it was disgrace. The
Which one is that?
old throwback in the Cosmodrome, or in the, that's not, is it Cosmodrome? Yeah, in the
Right. So who's
Cosmodrome.
the boss at the end? What type of what's going on?
Navoda, it's the witch within the like,
Yes.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that one. Oh, the one where you go up like that
Yep.
one? Where
Yeah.
Ashley doing
Yeah,
thing?
that was
Mhm.
today's. And I
Oh,
ended
wow.
up
That's a long one.
somewhere, yeah, by myself around I don't remember, 250, 260, something like that. Now, I could
Okay.
optimize more because the idea is you want to emote for like half a second so it registers, and then you want
Right.
to finish
Finish.
anything that is a major or a
Mhm.
champion. You can do it to both. And the more of those you do it to, everyone's going to be like 5,000 points or 11,000 points on champions. It is a massive difference if you do or don't.
Mhm.
So, a couple things. One, on the shoot to score, it doesn't tell
Yeah.
you what the top 10% threshold is at the time. You don't even
Yeah.
know what you're
No.
aiming for. You're just like,
Correct.
maybe I'm 10%, maybe I'm 20. That should be in the game on the damn
Yes.
quest so you know what you're
Correct.
aiming for. Two, maybe yesterday's strike had the most
Mhm.
points available. So the
Mhm.
people who did it yesterday now set the bar higher than maybe the rest of the week if they rotate through a bunch of strikes.
It's
Might
not
not even,
strike specific?
no. And it doesn't
Oh
reset
my
every
god,
day.
that's terrible
That's bad.
design.
Yeah, that's bad.
So
That's bad.
Can I
that's
ask
the
you guys a
big issue
question
is the fact
unrelated?
that,
Yeah, yeah. Go.
sorry. No, that's the big issue. Like,
Oh.
can't see the number you're going for. So if you're under the percent, you're like, how close am I?
Mhm.
And then the other thing is, you may not be able to get there, period. If you're like, oh, I just hit 240 and I feel like I was pretty optimal. 320,000 is what I got to go for. How's that? But it could be the different day that
Mm.
you're on. So I got it first day. And that's what I said in my
Mm.
video. Is like, if you don't do it this week, try and do it on Tuesday. So you're
Mm.
early in the week when it resets. And then
So it's
after,
daily or it's weekly?
no, it's weekly for the quest, but the strike changes every day so far.
Ah.
So that way it's like, that's why I said the Wednesday one
I mean,
was,
someday if you get unlucky, you're never gonna beat the score with a
yeah.
different strike.
Yeah, you could be,
Hasn't that been like that for like, it was like that last year, wasn't it?
I thought it stayed the same strike for a week and it might have just been boring. But I also remember like the first year they did this, the recreational playlist was during the week, and then the competitive one was like on the weekend. And then maybe at some point they opened it up, but I don't remember the strike rotating every day because I don't remember this issue. Now, could be wrong.
Either way, it's terrible.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Terrible
Prescott
design.
was like he was top 10% on Tuesday, now he's top 60%. That's the swing you can have. But there's no way of knowing which day is the good strike. So it's like go in and
Yeah.
see what you're kind of running, but some are going to be better than others. They're just not all equal, and those little multipliers are not perfect by any stretch.
Mm.
So it's weird. Like that's kind of a miss.
Hmm.
It didn't help that we started the first thing that people were doing were I shot you guys a message. It lasted on stream,
Oh,
might have been an hour, maybe, because I heard about it
got
probably
us.
30 minutes in. So what happened
Bungie
was
feds got us.
they're fast. It was you go to the master lost sector, you
Hmm.
load the master lost sector, and you instantly get the rewards as soon as you load in. It was 1 second so you would load in, get the rewards, come back out, and then that would also get you progress on your platinum medallion. So you just load in, load out, load in, load out, load in, load out. So I got a few extra prisms, but I didn't do it that many times. And then there was a point people in chat are saying, "Oh, it's gone. Like it's not even on the radar." So then I loaded back to tower and back, gone. Like they turned off the lost sector for a
That's
day.
so
It
stupid.
was gone
That's so
in
dumb.
30, 45 minutes. It was fast.
They got us. So when you like, what were the drops like from
I mean, it was
all
2
the?
prisms, maybe one. It was a master, so you get a chance at one of the world
Mhm.
drops, possibly with extra perks on it. I got
Right.
some exotic armor drops. So I mean, 3 or 4 things from it, and it literally the
Mm.
timer is 1 second. So it's just a weird trigger. You would load in, and it said like, locking loadout or whatever. You'd load
Mhm.
in, done.
I blame Cactus because he had a video up like, get in
Oh,
there
him and
now.
Crossbow. No, him and
They
Crossbow.
snitched. Y'all
Yeah.
snitching.
Well, I
Y'all supposed
saw.
to keep that low.
Yeah, I saw Scarrow put up a video, and then he probably had taken it down like 10 minutes later. Because yeah, there were a couple of those that went up, and then as soon as they were useless.
Mhm. Travis had an unrelated question that I'll jump in and have a
Oh,
comment
what's up?
afterwards.
My unrelated question is, did hunters get the ability to create holograms of themselves when I wasn't paying attention?
This land is coming. Here it come.
No,
Here
the
it come.
point spread is kind of crazy because when you
Let's
go
talk
to the
about the elephant
feature,
in
No,
the
no,
room.
no. No, I'm actually asking a real question. I've been seeing in Crucible people have like
the
static
strand, yeah,
projections of
that's the
themselves.
strand one. Yeah, they can.
Oh yeah, you never
Yeah,
seen
they
the
can
When did
pop
hologram?
when did
back.
that get into the game?
It's like when
When
they
like this.
dodge, they leave a projection of themselves that pings
When
on
did
the
that
radar.
get in the game though?
It
Did I
was
just
one of the
miss that ability
Yeah, it's one of
altogether?
the
I
extra.
just,
It's like an extra aspect that got loaded in one of the
Yeah.
previous seasons.
Yeah, they added an aspect, that
how
strand
long has that been
aspect.
in the game? It was an
I
aspect,
mean, at
okay.
this point, I don't know, 6 months or something. I'm guessing maybe
Almost. Yeah.
God damn, how did I miss that?
because
6 months it's been in the
it
game?
wasn't this season. I feel like it was last season. Probably. I feel like it's been there for a
I
It's
bit.
like it
saw
was the
that
season
in
before.
Crucible a couple times and I was like, am I lagging? Why are these characters standing here static? I'm so confused. And then I was like,
Am
okay,
I
this is
lagging?
definitely a power. I just didn't know this was in the game. What the hell?
It was
Dude, I'm
season
a
V. Okay.
casual.
You a
I'm a
casual
straight
now?
casual now. I didn't
Cash
even know
now.
about
That's
the powers
casual.
of the game.
That's
Holy
funny.
man.
That is
Yeah, I
hilarious.
feel like it
Yeah,
got
man.
buffed at some point a little bit. Lasts longer. Pulls. Yeah,
Hmm.
it'll mess
Yeah.
with your
Oh,
radar kind of
oh,
thing.
it's good. Like
Yeah.
I if I were a hunter, I'd be using that for sure.
Yeah.
Also, I knew they nerfed my Antaeus wards.
Mhm.
I did not realize how bad the nerf
Oh,
is.
how
I
was it?
was
Yeah.
useless on those things.
Mm,
Useless. It's so
yeah.
bad now. And what's
Yeah.
crazy is Antaeus wards were an exotic that like you could be good at if your skill was just really high and if you made your build around, closing
Mhm.
distance and stuff like that. But it didn't really strike me as something that needed a nerf.
Oh,
Like, no,
so
you
many
didn't
people
see
hated
anybody,
those
like,
things.
breaking the game with it.
No, I
It's
heard
so
so much
silly.
on like the PvP podcasts and stuff like that. People absolutely hated that thing. There was like it was a pain point for so many PvP players. It
It-
was like I heard about it a lot between
I think
Twitter and the other places I listened to.
it's gotta just be, streamers that are just
I
being
think
being
it's just
salty, right?
top level PvP probably didn't like what it was capable of doing.
That's so silly. What a dumb reason
That's
to
what I think I
remove
heard.
it. It's so silly. Anyway, I used those for years, and I never like anytime you pulled it off against somebody, it always felt like fair. It was like, all right, I hit you with your own grenade launcher. That's sick. It's rare. You have to pick up speed beforehand. It kind of had like a condition you had to meet. But nerfing it like that, man, it kind of has broken one of my builds, one of my main builds that
Yeah, I
I
had to
used
change
for
up
years.
too.
So
I had to change up.
kind of
No
upsetting.
more threadlings for you, sir. How those
Oh, bro, they got me. Strand locks, they got us. Come, we've been caught, guys. Come outside. Come outside, guys. We've been caught.
busted?
Yeah. So look, not only are they weaker, the health pool is seems to be bigger, so they're way less effective. And then I tried because a lot of times I'm gonna be real with you, E. The, I feel the PvP
All right.
community tends to be a little overreactive on a nerf to a weapon, right? So I'm like, all right, we heard about
What about the
SMGs.
Helldivers community? How are they doing on that nerf?
So a lot of times it'd be like, okay, a nerf happens. It's still good. It's just not as dominant as it was before, but it's still good. Oh, I felt that Immortal SMG target nerf,
Oh, yeah.
bro.
Peacekeepers also
Yeah,
got nerfed for Titans, so you'll see less
yeah.
of the SMGs there as well.
They're definitely promoting hitting the headshot play, that kind of thing. So I get it, and it's in the grand scheme of things, it's fair, kind of thing. But it's gonna be used to. I got to get a whole bunch of what happened? What you laughing?
Travis. He's like, they gotta stop catering to the 27 white dudes with USB microphones.
They messing. The
Sadly, most
USB
of those
joint.
guys
Sorry.
probably actually have XLR microphones. I'll give them that. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah, he says as a white guy in front of his XLR SM7B.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm the one with the
yeah.
USB. You guys have the XLR.
Yeah,
Come on.
you're the one with the USB. No, I will say I am consistently confounded by Bungie's insistence on catering PvP to the top 1% of players. I get it because they're very public, and so when they say things, lots of people hear it, and probably a lot of sheep follow it. But I legitimately feel like they've made the game significantly worse for the vast majority of people who enjoy Crucible.
Mm.
So
Yeah, well,
it's just
I
a
got
bummer. And I'm not just saying that because of Antaeus. You
Yeah.
guys know I felt this way for a
Yeah,
while,
you
but
felt that way for a while. You've been consistent with that. I think for me now, I just got to get in competitive to see what that is, also to see what the new meta actually is. I want to give a shout out to two buffs though that people are sleeping on. Y'all got to get on any of them heel clip weapons. Good lord, bro, that killer
really,
times two on the adhorative. If you got the foresty looking pulse,
Yeah.
that one, or it's a world drop. It's called the Parabellum. It's a 900 RPM
pair of
SMG.
what?
Parabellum.
Parabellum, I think it's
Is
called.
that the
It's
new
What's a
it's
bellum?
a
currency?
Why do I need
bro.
2 of them?
He's stupid. I'm telling you right now, it's synergistic with the weapon because you reload so much. You're
Yeah.
gonna be procking heal. Shout out to Above. He got a good video I saw. I was like, yo, that joint, I'm telling you, heal clip is end game material now. Because not only the reload heals you ×2, it heals allies +1. Yeah, shout out to 3
Yeah.
Geeks. Get y'all Parabellums. Any heal clip weapons or meta, even what is it, the fusion, Emerite,
Is that a
get them
world
heal clip
drop or
weapons,
is
y'all.
that Iron Banner?
Parabellum is a world drop now. Believe it's a world drop. Yeah, go check that out. It's
Well,
a solar
Yeah.
900
Trying to figure out where it comes
SMG.
from. No,
It's
I see
very
it.
hard
Yeah.
to get. The sourcing is weird. It's like I think it's just a random world drop. But Heel Clip Dynamic Sway. All right, 3 Geeks. I hear you. I got an adhorative with Heel Clip and Incandescent, and it's not coming out my lineup right now. So anyway, that's pretty much it. But let's get to the main event. Why I'm here and why Destiny is saved. Hoverboard, y'all. I didn't know I needed
Skimmers.
this.
Gotta call them the right thing. They're
Skimmers,
skimmers.
y'all.
I'm only gonna call it a hoverboard. Are you kidding?
Bungie could do no wrong
Isn't
now. It's all
aren't
forgiven.
skimmers those fake machines that you put your credit card into for them to steal your data?
They stole it from Nightfall, and I'm in.
No.
This is the cut content that
Well,
they
as
have on the
Travis said, this
file.
probably should have been
Okay.
with Lightfall.
What I'm saying, yeah, I think that this was supposed to be with
I
Lightfall, but
agree.
doesn't it say? Don't you guys find it? I'm not trying to be negative because I think they're
Come on,
cool,
tell the
but
truth.
don't you guys find it funny that in this game that has been accused of having one of the most predatory monetization models,
Don't
that
you
their
do it.
new
Don't you do it.
their new item in the game is literally called skimmers?
Don't you do
They're
it. We're gonna
named
make
after
God.
like a
they
practice of
hustle
like
you.
Yeah,
stealing
skimmer's
money.
like the
Like,
pool. The
You
skimmer's
just
a
pay for
pool
the
cleaner.
Galahorn edition,
Is that
and
what
you
it
can get it right
is?
now for free.
Skimmer is like a device used to steal money. Like it's like literally what
Yeah,
it's
you gonna talk
called.
about
Credit
that?
card
It's
skimmer. Yeah.
I
Okay.
I
I was like, I've also
find
heard
that
of like
funny.
a pool. Somebody else said it too. It's like I've also heard of a pool skimmer, like those things that will go around.
Oh,
Like,
like
Skimmers is
the
Skimmers.
things that clean your
yeah,
pool, like the Roombas.
or even just
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll say like when I see like an article that has the word skimmer in it, it's always about like, oh,
Oh
somebody
no, that
found
makes sense.
a
Yeah.
skimmer in a
Eh,
in a 7-Eleven.
the 7-Eleven
Anyway,
yes.
I'll let you guys talk about it. I just think to me that's very funny and kind of
It's
tone deaf
hilarious.
that they put that in the game.
It's hilarious. The name is hilarious. Look, man, I will say this. I'm very impressed that they allowed this this is one of the most game and design breaking
Oh, I feel
things
like
they
it's
could
good.
have
Did you
ever
run it
added
through
to Destiny.
Prophecy yet? Did
I
you?
saw the videos.
Oh, I did it today. I
Bro,
did my
you
solo
can
run. Just
grind and float past entire sections that the game was not meant to do this.
yeah,
Like, this is out of control, the things you do. Then let's be honest, it's really cool looking. The tricks, what is it? RB, you got the
yeah.
height, the high jump. It as a person who loves the Silver Surfer, this speaks to my sensibilities. It's just really cool. I'm impressed with the technical aspect of
Wait,
how they
can we
implement
stop
it.
real quick?
Yeah,
Can
go
you
ahead.
explain why you like Silver Surfer? Because
Oh, that's
he's
easy.
a isn't he a genocidal maniac? I just want to clarify that
Technically, he was
he destroys
responsible for
planets, right?
genocide. Yeah,
He
technically,
helps
Yeah,
some. He
okay,
doesn't
good.
do it, right? He helps.
yeah, he was
He
responsible for
helps.
genocide. He helped. Yeah,
He's just
he's
following
definitely
orders.
complicit.
Is
He
what
was
you're
complicit.
he's just
A lot of
Yeah.
he was
blood on his
just
hands
following
at first.
orders, dog. Yeah.
That's all he was doing. He was following
I
orders
was
from
trying to
two
give
galactic.
I was trying to give Cog one. Okay, leave me alone.
Threw me the alley oop. You threw me the alley oop.
Tried.
Yeah,
Oh
my
man.
dad made me watch buy that comic. He's like, yeah, these kids are buying. You need something cosmic and deeper, and he made me. I'm like, these guys pontificating all these big words and genocide. I'm like, what the hell is going on in this book? I was like, I'm 9. I'm like, why can't I have Spider-Man? I can't. Like, my dad made me buy Silver Surfer. I'm like, ugh, all right, but I ended up loving the character. But yes, he had a very checkered past. But the idea of it is very cool, very cool, so dope, and again, from a technical standpoint, the way it's implemented, so
You
cool.
do. You look cool on a hoverboard. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie, man.
bro, can we say rest in peace? I know, shout out where my man at. Prescott, this does not involve you. Me and you had our talk on Twitter, but this really is going to damage Sparrows long term. As
Oh
to
yeah.
Sparrow Gang, I don't know why. I mean, I know you love it, Prescott, but the majority, like, I don't see you ever going back to a Sparrow. The majority of the community after this, like, it's bad. You could skip the whole raid section in what's the Frost one, the Beyond Light raid, where in the beginning you start off
Yeah.
and you got to go from you remember you have to stay
Deep Stone
warm
Crypt?
inside Deep Stone Crypt. You
Deep
could
Stone
skip the
Crypt.
whole joint, go from pod to pod. The things people are doing, the prophecy dungeon, skip that whole Sparrow
Oh, yeah, you
racing
skipped. I
section.
did that.
Yeah, this is Teaser Teddy doesn't think so. SRL is
Never coming back. Now that
with
skimmers exist, yeah, you're never getting that.
yeah, it's
Skimmer
cool, man.
Racing League.
Skimmer recently.
They could
Yeah,
even keep the SRL. Skimmer Racing League.
but I was very impressed. I didn't think it was the thing I needed, and I was gonna love it so much. It really does
Oh
change
no,
the
that's
game.
one of the. I mean, you said it before the show. Break glass in case of emergency. Because what is
Yes.
the skimmer in the Eververse themed after, sir?
Oh, the Galahorn. You know, when all hell fails loose, you gotta get that Galahorn.
The
You gotta get the
Galler
engagement up.
Sparrow, whatever it's called. I'm trying to look up the
Mhm.
name. Oh, and then the armor sets that go with it. How good do those look?
Beautiful. Mm-mm-mm.
Especially for
Okay,
you
so
with your like red and gold and
Mhm.
like that literally speaks to Cog.
Yes.
we can agree we're never gonna get SRL back.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's over.
But do you think we'll ever get like an arena where you have to do tricks to get a score like Tony Hawk Pro Skater
They should
type
put a half pipe in the
mode?
farm. Are you kidding?
I'm just saying, do you ever think we'll be listening to ska as we grind and do kickflips and try to meet a certain score threshold? Do you think we'll be collecting VHS tapes as we jump over half pipes
If
in
they
Destiny?
do that, that would be fantastic, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
my
agree.
God.
I 100% agree. It would only work if Activision were still publishing Destiny. If that were the case, oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah, you could do it
Let's
then.
get that
it'd be
back.
great.
Yeah. So we got to get. There's 3 ways to get it, right? There is the
Yeah, I was like, you
getting
got this.
medals,
Yep.
but then it's the what is it? The top 10%,
10%.
right? And then the
And then the
third
one
method,
none of us are gonna get.
which I thought was very interesting, is that
None
the
of us
two-
are gonna get that once. None of us are gonna satisfy that third
Get
requirement.
what?
The winning featured packages, because none of us are gonna win any of these featured events.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win
No,
it.
no,
Let's
it's
go.
a whole team effort, and every time I check the featured event score, it's like Hunters 27 million, Titans 8 million, Warlocks 12 million. Like the Hunters, it's not even
Hunters,
close.
close. The hunters are
Not even
smoking everyone.
close.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that the Hunters are the only ones still playing Destiny?
I knew this was coming. I was waiting for this part.
No,
No,
I,
actual question.
no, I think it's because the Hunters probably still play a decent amount of PvP. So if they do like the game, they've probably been playing PvP and still do. Anybody who does more
I see.
PvE type stuff, I would imagine is an even spread of classes, because I think hunters
Yeah.
typically do lean more PvP as
Yeah.
a class in general. So your warlocks and your
Still Titans
titans,
too, though?
I would say I would probably say it tips to hunters, but that would be a guess, because the people who still enjoy PvP and play it and now here for the sandbox stuff, people who've done Guardian games before and they're like, yeah, I got my skimmer once, it's fine, and then I'm out. Everybody else is still here for PvP, and that probably leans hunters, but they're still probably doing just a little bit of everything else. That's a guess. I have no
I mean,
idea. Making it up.
I'm just pointing out the game is at its lowest recorded, player base,
I
and
can't.
hunters are smashing. And so I'm wondering,
Mm-hmm.
is there something about hunters? Are they keeping this game alive secretly?
I mean, it
I
could
mean,
be
they might
true.
be the dedicated ones.
Yeah, it could
It's
be
possible.
true. I remember what was the
Mhm.
famous wrestler who we was there for games, GCX. I think it was around the time we met Mola for the first time. It was was it the Big Show? I believe he
Oh,
was
yeah,
around.
Big Show. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Bro, he was popping off. I didn't know he was. I assumed he would be a Titan. He was, oh, this is the most skilled class. And I'm telling you, the Destiny's carried by. Like, he was going in his whole Hunter diatribe about why they are the definitive class and keep Destiny alive. I don't know, man. We got to see. But I know Titans are upset. Us Walk Generation dedication, we always in the middle. You know what I'm saying? We kind of just watch y'all, see how this thing's playing out. And we're used to Titan favoritism. So there's a part of me that's like, really genuinely surprised by this, because I thought the Titans would take it. I'm like, all right, Titans playing, they might go all out on this one. But yeah, Hunters are outside, man. This is your time to showcase and
Yeah.
show
So it's
off.
like,
Good one.
so if you want because you get a white hoverboard, like common
Mhm.
level item, and then to turn it to exotic, you have to do one of those 3 requirements. If you're a hunter, just check the featured time, do one of the activities, and hang out, because you're going to get that winning package. And when you get the winning package, I had to ask what it was. It
What is it?
fills your bronze, fills your silver, so it fills your gold, and fills your platinum medals. It's worth 75 medal points.
Oh wow,
Which thing is?
The winning package. So if
the
like
winning
your class
package. Yeah.
wins the event and you participated and you
Oh,
do one more, you get 75 medallions worth of just being part of it.
Yeah,
And we're
being
over
part of
here
it.
getting a gold worth 3. If you get to
Yeah,
even tier 3, that is.
yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
Well, I have my own theory of why hunters are trying so hard this year.
Oh
Let's get
dear.
it.
I think that they are convinced that if they win,
Mhm.
Father Cade will come home with the milk finally. Like how people with like abandonment issues work extra hard because they think if they just were a little bit better, then their dad would come home. And the funny thing is,
And this has been 5
they're
minutes with
right.
Travis.
Yes.
It's going to happen. We know that it's going to happen because of Final
Mhm.
Shape. So
Yes.
canonically, it actually works.
It's a lot of them. Yeah, I mean,
So I hate to say it, but I am Team Hunter this year.
how you team Hunter? Dad's got to
I'm
come
Team
home.
Hunter.
Dad's
I'm
got to
Team
come
Hunter
home.
this year.
He's doing it.
Sorry,
He's doing
guys.
it for Cade.
I'm
He's doing it for Cade.
switching to a Hunter to bring this podcast equilibrium. We'll
I
Yeah,
finally
have to
have
switch
way
to a
less
hunt.
information.
Don't worry. I'm going to switch to
I'm gonna
hunter for
switch.
Final Shape because I have to for my charity thing.
Oh, you're right. You got to play Hunter.
Because
That's
I
right.
hit
Oh, because you lost?
No, because I raised over 5,000. That was my stretch goal for 5,000. I was like, if I get to 5,000 raised total, I will play Hunter for Final Shape. And I'm like, because I got 5,700 total raised for Game to Give,
That's gonna be weird to see you play
and I'm
Hunter.
going to be playing a Hunter full. So I think Into the Light will actually be a good time for me to really spend some time with my Hunter, figure out what's going on, and like kind of brush up on everything. Because I gotta probably farm some exotics that I don't have, finish up probably a campaign at some point.
Yeah.
There's some stuff I haven't done with my Hunter, so it's gonna
Have you
be
ever paid attention to these Into the Light rumors? I think Tassie was talking about maybe
possible
some
weapons coming back.
some black armor.
I mean, that's kind of the other in case of emergency thing. My brother wants black armory weapons to come back, and my brother gave up a while ago.
I will
But
say,
he, what was it? Blast furnace, hammerhead, true. What's the hand cannon that did? What was it? Kill
ooh,
clip
that
and
Kill Clip
rampage.
something orchid.
Oh, kindled
Kindled
Those
orchid.
weapons were cool, but I feel the
Yes.
need to remind everybody that was a pretty bad season of Destiny.
Oh, the
Yeah.
content was terrible.
Content
Everyone
was
threw
throw
the balls
balls,
at-
but blast furnace is still one of my favorite pulse rifles.
weapon.
Now, if
I
you
will
got
give
an
you that.
origin trade on that, I'm like, get me back to my that replaces my go figure because it doesn't seem like I'm ever
Facts.
gonna get that. And I
Origin
love the
trait,
four
new
plus.
perk pool.
Yeah, because it was solar. So if you get like, give me an incandescent. What else
Wait,
do I
blast
want on
furnace
there?
wasn't. I thought it was kinetic.
Oh,
Was it
blast
kinetic?
furnace might have been kinetic. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Man,
Well, then make it
that's
something fun for me then, because kinetic is
yeah.
less
Hey,
entertaining.
when does it make you pledge which class you're going to be a part of?
I think literally when you logged in first.
Mm.
I think
I don't remember getting that
or when you
prompt
talk to Eva
though.
Levante. I saw it go like really fast, and I was like, well, I knew I'm Titan. I'm like, you pledged Titan. I'm like, cool. I don't quite know what triggered it though. The auto was solar.
Mm.
That's right. The pulse was kinetic. You're right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I know I used to always tease you about your, what is it, the dad bod pulse rifles that I used to associate you with, that you tried and true. Blast furnace was that was my favorite weapon of your loadout during back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to love that weapon. That was, yeah. Shout out to Teddy. He's like, that's a in case of emergency breakout Black Armory weapons. Yeah, I'm with it, man. I'm
Yeah,
with it.
that's
Weapons
exactly
were
what that
amazing.
is. Yeah, I mean, you see of those weapons that I've heard about, but that's all speculation, rumors
Yeah.
until they tell us. Like if they're doing that as an influx to get more players back, they're pulling out a lot of stops to try and keep that population. I mean, right now you can log in every week and get 700 free bright dust.
Mhm.
They got hoverboards in the game. They
Mhm.
got Gallowhorn hoverboard and Gallowhorn armor.
Which I'm gonna buy eventually.
That alone is trying to pull some people back in this week. Now I don't know how many more for the next couple of weeks of Guardian games you're going to get. Like once people kind of cash in with those, we'll see. But I checked the Steam numbers,
How's it
peaked at
looking?
like 75K
Are we coming back?
yesterday or like Tuesday
Okay.
or Wednesday. That's the highest it's been since
In a minute.
a while.
And I will admit, I caught myself doing the Twitch stream 2 hour thing,
Oh,
which
for
is
the
part of
diamond
one of the
one.
requirements for the diamond medal, which is again an easy way to farm engagement and
Yep.
excitement back to the game.
Yep.
Because it's easy. It's like you literally, I just had my phone
Yeah.
open and I was like playing Destiny and I had somebody's
Mhm.
Twitch stream going. I
Oh,
shout
yeah.
out to Wallow, whoever it was, and that was an easy diamond thing. And then they're doing the thing with, they are
Can
kind of
somebody
smart in the
confirm
way
to
they
me
handle it.
how many points a diamond medallion is worth? I heard it was like 300. And if that's the case, you could literally watch 2 hours of a Twitch stream once a week, and that'd be 900 points, and you only need 1,200 for the hoverboard. So if you
Mm.
do a little bit of like playing over the
300, the cat
course,
said.
okay, 300, seeing that.
Mhm.
So yeah, 300, 300, 300. You get one diamond medal a week. So if
Right.
you get 900 points from those hours that you leave Twitch on in the background somewhere, you need 300 medallions, which is not much in the grand scheme of.
Or you can buy it with real money, is my understanding.
You can buy the Yellowhorn one with real money. That
You
one's
buy
an
the Yala.
Eververse.
You can get the Yala.
You can get the Yellowhorn Sparrow, and then there's also like an armor set as well sitting out there. So there's a
And I
way to
think
buy
they
a
have
skimmer.
reserve.
It's not a skimmer.
No, it is a skimmer.
It
It's a
is. Yeah, you
Yellowhorn
gotta go
skimmer.
straight buy it.
So you could just straight buy it, or you could
Right
spend
there.
dozens of hours of your life trying to
Yeah.
get the
Well, I mean,
regular one.
or you can literally just like go in on Tuesday, get the top 10% in the Nightfall. I had mine done really fast. Like
Oh, easy. Yeah, just get the
Yeah.
top 10% in the Nightfall. No problem there.
most
So
people
easy.
No,
So
I will
easy.
tell you, if you go into matchmaking, most people don't know what the hell they're doing. So if you like try once early on in a week, you'll probably get it. That's all I'm saying.
My
Most
apology,
people
though,
won't.
to Travis's point, the blueberries keep killing the damn champions before I can emote. They
Oh, well,
know
that's
there's
what I'm
not a
saying. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. They suck.
Yeah, they're not coordinated with it. But damn, I lost my thought. It was something else we're gonna take besides the engagement with the Oh, there is a shader locked behind that paywall.
I did
with
see
the
that, I think,
Gallagher.
too.
I don't like shaders locked behind. It's like when you can't get anywhere else separately. That's part of this package kind of thing. I've been noticing that. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, they got to give you a little
Officially
extra
reviewing the
bonus in
final
there.
shape, by the way.
Oh, you got it?
Nice.
Oh, they need that. They need that. We need that brutal honesty on that. That's what I'm talking about.
They sent me the collector's
Oh.
edition. Bungie was
Oh, you got
very
the
nice.
tower. You got the tower in the crib. Oh, you're not allowed to show that. All right, we'll talk offline. Let me stop. Just joking. Just joking. That's what's up. No, but it's good that you get a chance to, because I know if you put it through its paces, we're gonna get that real on what it is.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
will
what's
know.
up. Salute to
Travis
you on
is
your
a fair
Nightfall.
critic.
He's very fair. He's very fair, y'all. Tease and Teddy, the soon
Hopefully
debut.
Bungie feels that way too.
Yeah, Into the
Nah,
Light, early April is what I heard.
definitely.
Teddy said probably April 9th by the weeks. They'll probably, because what Guardian games will go on for 3 weeks, then you have Iron Banner, and then things will happen after that. So.
Into the Light is that new kind of halfway season.
Yeah,
that
trying to
they're
get
doing.
old and new players back in the game for some reason.
For
I've
some
heard.
reason.
Well, no, no, I know, like to lead into Final Shape, yes, but I've
Yeah,
heard crazy rumors. I mean, people are shooting for the moon. People are like, "Oh, they're going to bring back the Red War campaign." I'm like, "Oh man, dude, you are shooting way
really
too
wishful.
far with that one." Yeah, I was like, I don't. The hopes of what into the light is are way out there. I was
Mhm,
like, I would not expect more. If they did anything, I could expect maybe one or two more of those like historic missions that they bring back,
mhm.
kind of for the timeline. I'm not expecting. Here's a full campaign playthrough or campaign playthrough. Can't talk.
You good?
Campaign playthrough. There's no way. If they do that, I'm gonna be floored. But no, there's no freaking way.
The interesting thing about Into the Light is they're also saying that the aim is to bring in new players as well, and I'm dying to know how they're gonna do that.
You and me both.
Like, I thought that was interesting that that's one of the bullet points for
Oh
Into the
yeah,
Light.
no, like Shadow. If you guys watch Shadow Destiny, if you've watched
Mhm,
Destiny videos, you've probably seen one of his. We had him on the show. He's literally like got a friend.
yeah,
He's
Shadow's
playing
awesome.
through a brand new person in, just kind of like Travis had his buddies, but he's working on a video for it as well, just what the experience is like between the pop-ups and the confusion. And then I think Jez had his wife play. He
Mhm,
usually does comedy stuff, and he had her play, and she played for like 2 days. She doesn't game, so she was struggling with a
mhm.
whole bunch of different stuff, just even video game stuff that we naturally figure out. It was like the third day, all of a sudden it had pop-ups about abilities and other stuff came in on the third day of playing. It is just not a streamlined experience. The Jez video is like an hour long, but it is hilarious, but also points out so many things that are wrong. Like so many
Yeah.
things that doesn't tell you if you're not a gamer first off, but if you don't just have somebody guiding you through, there's so much the game doesn't tell you. But it is
Mhm.
quite funny to listen to.
Yeah.
It's
The new player experience is just so funny. So, I mean, again, kudos for them to even acknowledge and attempt. So we'll see how that
yeah,
works out for them.
I gotta know what they're gonna do because
Yeah.
there's I don't know. You would need to
Mhm.
make a fresh account, but you need fresh eyes on it. That's why a couple of these experiments that people are doing are important because if you don't have fresh eyes, we all know way too much. You can't be
Right.
like, "Well, you didn't tell me this here, you didn't tell me this here." There's stuff that we wouldn't even think about. We don't know. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part.
Yeah. We'll see how it go.
On top of the fact that you don't know what's happening in the story.
Yes, that too.
And then I think Bife put out a video that he was saying it's like they really need to work on the story for Final Shape, keeping the story around from this entire year. The fact that
I wonder why he
Lightfall,
says that.
no
Yeah,
reason.
he got a good video. He got a good video about that
Yeah.
one.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Uh,
Wonder what his issue is.
I am curious though, because I mean, yeah, we'll get a pop for Guardian games. You got a hoverboard, you're gonna get a few people in for sure.
Hmm.
But then that'll slide off pretty fast as soon as people kind of get their hoverboard, get a couple weapon drops, and get out. Go
Hmm.
through this month, you'll have probably one more Iron Banner. We'll see what Into the Light is.
Right.
It
That's
was
April. That's
kind
soon,
of
though.
I was like, it was kind of thrown on them, so that's why my expectations are real low. I mean,
Yeah,
Guardian games had a little planning. This
that's
didn't.
fair.
This probably had less.
Hmm.
So whatever they can kind of hamstring together, we'll see. And then it's going to be April and May of whatever Into the Light is to get us into Final Shape, which will be supposedly still June 4th.
Hmm.
And then if they keep their schedule, it's 2 weeks later. They were saying after 2 weeks or whatever, they were going to drop the first episode. Gives them a
Right.
chance to drop the raid on day 11 or whatever and do that. And you'll have the Lightfall campaign for 2 weeks. And then the first episode that is after the events of Final Shape.
Mhm.
And then 3 days after that, everybody's going to leave and go play Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, they got a lot riding in. I mean, look, I'll give them a little credit for this right now. Look, slight peak of interest, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. They're going to have to be the most creative they've ever been to try to garner engagement, and then of course nail what you call it final shape. But I am curious. I'm just curious about what the hell could they come up with Into the Light in a 6 month window. I'm very serious, like curious what that content is.
yeah, I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so Guardian games, you got Supremacy, Strike
Hmm.
Scoring. Nobody understands how to get the strike scoring. You got medallions.
Hmm.
Oh, one of the best things you can do if you really don't want to think about, if you like have a podcast or a series you want to episode and kind of like no brainless it, get the raid, but it's also /dungeon medallion, and it's
Okay.
just killing enemies in a raid or dungeon. If you complete
solid.
encounters, it's better. Go set at the
Grasp of
part.
avarice.
Grasp of Avarice. You know exactly what
Let's
I'm
go,
saying.
baby.
And you can
Hustle
just sit
pay.
there and plink them from far away with a scout rifle or something. And then I didn't time it, but not that bad. Now, granted, I will tell you, I soloed Prophecy, however long it took me to do it while I was on stream. Being as you're killing and doing encounters, I like finished an encounter, killed a few guys, and then I went to go get another medallion, which you can get your medallions on. Like they're basically bounties. You can get them through the app, so you can use it on your phone. So you don't have to go back. But yeah, I went through there and I finished it 3 times in my one run. So that actually wasn't bad. So 3 platinums just from one Prophecy run. Now, granted, that's because I was killing everything, so I got all the kills.
Yeah, I got to remember to go in there solo just to maximize it.
But yeah, Grasp, if you don't want to think about it, just sit there and shoot until you're done. It's going to be kind of quick.
Nice.
Do your chores.
Chores.
Yes,
Yep.
that would feel like a
Enter an
chore.
activity, mindlessly shoot until you complete the activity.
Shoot into the loot cave.
To the cave, baby.
Speaking of loot caves,
Loot
Travis,
cave.
didn't that come up with you recently?
It did. I wanted to give a shout out. So, for those who don't know, listeners, dear listeners, I have 2 full-time jobs. And my other job is I work at small tech startups and I help them grow. And then when they get like 30 or 40 employees, I leave because I don't like working for large companies. And sometimes people try to sell me things. And a lot of times when they try to sell me things, they go to my LinkedIn and they see that I do IGN work. And so their way of selling me is sometimes they'll try to sell me something by referencing video games. And sometimes you can tell that they play video games because they'll be pretty hard in the paint. And other times they'll just be like, you know what else is a game? Is, and like they'll try to like tie it together with some stupid thing they're trying to sell me. But I got a message recently that I thought was very funny on LinkedIn from a guy named Eric, and the title of the message was "The Loot Cave, Gallerhorn, and Pipeline." And the message reads, "Hey Travis, doing my research on your company and I came across your LinkedIn and socials and saw you're an IGN contributor and a Destiny 2 junkie. Think of your website like the Loot Cave. Real OGs know. There is a ton of potential leads to farm if your marketers always have their sights on who's visiting. You need something OP like the Gallerhorn to capture high-value prospects into your pipeline." And it goes on, but basically, this guy is a Destiny player, and he used his honestly pretty impressive Destiny knowledge to try to sell me his lead generation. But it made me laugh, and I thought I would share it because I get messages like this pretty often, but this one just hit at the right time. I got it today right before we were about to do the show, and I was like, you know what? I should read this because it's kind of hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they really put some effort into it, and I did respond to this guy because of his research. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna talk to this guy, see what's up.
He's hardcore. He OG with it. Salute.
Thank you for letting me share that, Ebontis. But yeah, that one tickled me because it's just the metaphor is very funny.
Very good.
Oh no, he leaned into it hard. That's why I wanted you to share it because
he also positioned his product or his company as the Gallerhorn of lead generation, which is
if
you're
gonna sell, you're going for the top.
Claim.
Yep.
Certainly a claim, guys.
Certainly a claim. Yeah.
Gotta respect it.
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
Funny. I love it. Boy, shot his shot. You gotta respect it. And he did his research.
Yeah, if anybody's ever done sales for any ever reason in their entire life, I was like, I respect that one. Like I did telemarketing for 1 summer. Brutal. Like no, it was business to business. Thank God it wasn't consumer. And it still wasn't great, but it was at least like something that didn't totally suck. It was like long distance for business customers, but at the time it actually was a reasonable deal. And the other side of like the cubicle room, they were selling cell phone service that was so like patchy on the map, it was just awful. But on the business one, it's just like long distance, that was a reasonable deal. So it was like, I did okay. But man, if I was trying to sell something that was just a piece of crap, nah, I could never. I would be so bad at trying to sell trash.
That's rough.
I don't know. You try to get people to play Destiny.
We go telemarketing now.
I actually
Hey, guys.
so like there was a point. I mean, granted, here you go for your you guys give me the whole Texas upbringing, privileged lifestyle here, because
I'm very excited.
no, this is one of those. You guys give me crap all the time, but I can't say anything because I very much had a sheltered upbringing, no question. But in our neighborhood, like in our whatever it was, middle school or something like that, I can't remember. It's like here's like a pamphlet of a bunch of different goods that you can sell, and the more of them you can sell, you would get like prizes for doing that type of stuff. So like kind of like
I'm familiar.
yeah,
Very
but I was like,
familiar.
so I walked around our neighborhood though, and that was one where it was like I was bound and determined to win this thing, and I was like going every house to house. I covered way too much ground. I ended up actually winning the whole thing whenever I did it, but
I can see this.
yeah, I was bound
Really?
yeah,
Mhm.
actually
Look at
like
you, dude. That's great. How many guns did you get pointed at you during this door-to-door knocking job?
so in the world of sheltered area that I did live at the time, it was not really a big risk in this area. So I had a
That's
pretty
too bad.
easy
Yeah.
pretty easy
Also,
going.
you're older. I feel like it wasn't as bad back then. That's too bad.
Yeah, it was a different time, different place. No, if I kind of explained the area of where it is, you would be like, "Oh, yeah." You'd be fine.
That's funny.
By the way, that isn't that bad of a sheltered upbringing. I feel like everybody had to do that. I did the door-to-door
No, I just
selling
mean the
thing.
city I grew
was
up
good.
in was so the city I grew up in, as it was, they were developing and using all the different pieces of the town, and there's like one main highway and now it looks completely different. There was a Walmart within the city limits, and it was just like towards the front as you got towards the highway. At some point, they kicked the Walmart out of the town. Now, Walmart, in amazing fashion, which I found hilarious. So here's the city, here's the next city. They put it right on the border. So, like, if you still want to get your stuff, you can come here, but we're going to pay our taxes to this other city as opposed to you.
Right.
And I was like, y'all are idiots.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the type of city I grew up in. So,
Yeah, Walmart has been banned from San Francisco for many years
Really?
because of their labor practices. Yeah. But yeah, I was expecting something way worse though when you said, speaking of my sheltered childhood. I thought you were going to be
Yeah.
like, I remember as a child I would come home and the silver hadn't been polished before dinner.
okay, I will
I was
tell you,
expecting.
I did not have that kind of upbringing. There's a difference. Like, I had a sheltered, like, I didn't have to like worry about a whole lot of anything growing up. It's like I can tell you that I did not have
you
that. I
Have
did
you
not
ever
have
had to use
royalty
an
upbringing.
unpolished? Have you ever had to use an unpolished fork for dinner? You don't understand my troubles, my tribulations.
My
Not the voice,
tribulations.
Trav. You can't do it
The
like
voice fits too, but that is not okay.
voice
So I'm
fits.
in between, like not great and that. I'm somewhere in the middle. How's
in the
that?
middle. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not there.
I'm not quite. Yeah, that's a whole
You're gonna
different.
look at me like, will you please pass the jelly? I ain't gonna get looked at funny in that commercial.
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Grape upon, banana, all fruit.
I remember I spent an entire summer where my maid had gone on holiday.
The nerve, the terror.
I love Teddy. Fork, wasn't he just fed by his personal butler?
Fork, yeah.
I'm done.
My life dullied with the sheen of a spotted butter knife. Thank you, Prescott, the writer. Appreciate the writer coming in there with the proper word usage.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm gonna write
Super
fanfic.
posh.
I may
about
have a
this.
sheltered upbringing, but no posh. Yeah, so I didn't have to worry about too much, but I wasn't like sitting in royalty either. So it's
Yeah. No, his father was an oil baron, so it was a different type of posh. It was like
my father was actually in
Yeah.
sales, so it was technology.
he owned a
sales.
NASCAR team, but that
No.
was
I would have actually loved to have been motor racing growing up, man.
Yo,
That would have been cool.
backstories for Ian. It's wild.
I always.
I am
come up
so
with-
glad you were like. I am okay. Honestly, I would love to have had both of you guys at my wedding when I got married, but I'm also glad you weren't there, Travis, because
Yeah. Oh, yo, no,
he would have taken the mic and never let it go. There wasn't even a
That's
mic.
not
He just would have
true.
stood up.
We did
That's
an
not
impromptu
true.
roast session at your wedding.
It would have been a roast.
I do not take the mic unless it's time. We're on a show. This is show business. But if we're like actually at a thing, I will. I've had people be like, Travis, go ahead, roast me. And I've been like, you don't want me to do
You
that.
don't want
Trust
that.
me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I will
This is your
refuse the
moment.
mic if the
Yes.
situation is not appropriate enough. But do you guys remember the first time you ever had me on this show? I came up with a backstory for E that he
Yes.
was like wearing cowboy boots, leaving a Target or something like that. I can't remember what the thing was. I
Never
just said,
put on a pair of
Yes.
cowboy boots in my life.
yeah.
They're
And I
always
called you
more.
Dallas too. I kept calling you
Yeah.
Dallas during that show. I remember that.
You've got more
And that was the first
egregious.
time I'd ever met E. I'd
Yes.
never
Yeah.
interacted with him before.
I was like, hey, this guy's Destiny. Do you want to come on the show? What have I done? What have I done?
I remember that.
That was
Hilarious.
a good time.
Mistakes
I
were
knew
made.
Cog,
It's
but I'd
fine.
never talked to E before, and I was just
Mhm.
like, I'm just
That
gonna
was the
trash this
debut.
guy on his own show. That'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be a good way to network.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Bonding.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Good times.
Good times, boys. Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, well, I gotta ask both of you guys: are either of you looking forward to Dragon's Dogma or Rise of the Ronin? Are either of those
Hell
hype
yeah.
games for you guys? Both,
I was
maybe. Which
gonna
one's
review.
first?
I was gonna review Rise of Ronin, but they put me on the South Park game, so I
Man,
almost ended up doing that.
that is.
Yeah.
I mean, IGN, of course, is gonna get access to that one, no question. But I will tell you from the outside perspective, trying to crack the nut that is PlayStation, good luck. It is hard to do, or you are a massive creator.
PlayStation is pretty protective of their review process. So
The walled garden is it carries over into other aspects too.
that's
Yes.
true. That is
That's
very true.
Very true.
Yeah, they so I was gonna review that, but that honestly that one doesn't strike me that much just because I like Souls likes, but I'm kind of over the samurai thing. We've just seen it so many times.
So many times.
And also
now.
we've also seen samurai Souls likes not that long ago. You know
I
what I mean?
mean,
Like
Ghost of
Sekiro.
Tsushima set the bar high. Now that PC port's coming out and from Nixus, that's gonna look pretty. I will tell you guys the one piece of like
I don't think they set the bar, by the way. I think they're still behind the bar of Sekiro, but
oh well
that is-
Sekiro, yeah, too.
which
Well,
is yet
Ghost of Tsushima
another
even- yeah.
samurai
They
like
were
Souls.
different
But Ghost of
though.
Ghost of Tsushima, I don't consider it a Souls like though, right? You consider it a Souls like?
Kind of Souls
I mean, it's
likey.
action. I mean, when you put it on,
If I beat it, it ain't no Souls.
well, yeah. I mean, okay, I played it on Brutal, which I actually loved. By the way, it was
Yeah,
punishing.
You did play it on Brutal. Yeah,
Like Brutal was fun, but it also like if you have a sword and you go, shing, dude's dead. As he should be, not just like here's a spongy health guy with a big sword that I'm wailing away at his organs. It's like no, one done, but also it's risky for you. But I actually loved that difficulty on Ghost of Tsushima. I never played the expansion, Iki, I think it was.
Yeah, Ichi Island.
But no, that one, the one
Dragon's
thing
Dogma definitely though.
Dragons looks massive. It looks like that game you could spend 100 hours in just because some of the stuff I've seen, like IG and you guys have had some coverage, and I've seen one or two where people are just playing along, they're hanging out at their camp. All of a sudden, a big griffin comes down in the middle of your sleeping, and then you got to start attacking them. And then there's two ogres that come over and they get in the middle of the fight, and then the ogres are fighting the griffin. You're like, you're standing there watching, going, they're all bigger than me, but I can at least watch them wail the crap out of each other. It's like, it looks really, really cool. I didn't play the first one, but the whole pawn system, trading the experiences, like they go off and help other people and they bring that experience and knowledge back. I really, really, really want to play that one. Like every time I see more in that game, I'm like, I want to play it. And some of the subclasses, like the Mystic Spear Hand and the bow,
Crazy.
the Mystic Archer, look so cool. Like that game is a 100-hour game probably for me. I feel like it's that big.
Easily. It'll
Yeah.
probably be easily 100 hours.
That's my worry though, is depending on cross your fingers if I can try and play that one early to try and do coverage and guides and stuff.
That one
for that.
should be easier. That one should be easier.
I mean, I've reached out where I can, so everybody just cross your fingers because I've thrown my hat in every ring possible that I can in that world. So I'm trying.
Shot, baby.
My hope, because it's so much bigger, to play that one early, because then actually I think Ronin would be a good one to stream. That because I feel like one could play before, work on guides and builds and that stuff, and the other one would be a good streaming one, and then I could kind of work on content as I play it live. That's my hope. If I get neither and I'm playing them both live, I'm starting with Dragon's Dogma. I think I have to.
Dogma, yeah.
It looks so cool. It just, I don't know. I know the old one is not a big like seller or anything, but kind of turned into a cult thing that I've heard.
Yeah,
Most people really like it.
So he is down for both of these games. I'm more down for one than the other. How about you, Cog?
Where are you landing?
I hope he's like, I'm not down for either.
I think Ronin I might have sold you on once or twice, actually.
Ronin got my attention, but just again, so I was like,
well, okay, here's the thing on Ronin. Remember I told you got difficulty options in Ronin, which they haven't done before.
Yeah, but I feel like it's sacrilegious for me to put the difficulty down on a Souls-like game and
I
to left
will I
leave it at its default difficulty, I
I
feel.
have a different respect for that after playing Prince
Mhm,
of Persia. The way they
mm,
had the choice of how to do the sliders in that one, and it was I liked the variability of what you could do, but it was
mhm,
when you go on normal difficulty and then when you went to one above, I didn't go all the way to immortal, but if you
right,
go one above, it was the damage to you was the same, but I think the
mhm,
enemy health was a little more, and then you didn't get your abilities back quite as fast. So it was a little
mhm,
bit of a balance. You could punish the crap out of yourself if you wanted to, but you could also make it to where certain things were more advantageous in your way. I really actually love the difficulty system in Prince of Persia. I am kind of sad that game got lost in Pal World
yeah,
and a
they
couple of other
suffer,
things
yeah,
because I saw
yeah.
it got like 300,000 sales, which is not small,
People
but it's
liked it,
not it
but
was
it
so
didn't
much
do yeah.
better. It was so much better than it got the recognition for. It was really, really
There's so
good.
many games right now. No, I hear you. I guess for me, the difficulty thing, I always like to respect the
I
developer's
mean, that's fair.
initial intention.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm being extra to alter
But
it a little bit.
but I mean,
Mhm.
in your sake, if you wanna experience you'd love that world.
Yes, I do
So, I
love the
mean,
world. I
so
love
if
what
you
they're
want to
trying to do.
experience the story, have some fun with the combat and adventure and,
Mhm.
all of that area, I feel like they give you the option.
Yeah, I got my eye on it. Don't get me wrong. It's one of those things that one I got to see how the reviews do as we get closer. Then schedule wise, if it fits, I might. But I'm not. I don't want to overcommit. Like, yes, I'm definitely
Yeah.
doing it.
Is
And there's other
Dragon's
things. Yeah,
Dogma talking to you?
that has my eye. Maddie really
Okay.
sold me on that. I like the mechanics, the way he told me the first game was, and he just said, obviously it's a bit janky, as far as going back to it now. But I remember when I first saw Dragon Dogma 2, it had that look like, oh, you got potential that you could be something special this year. So I have my eye. Now that we see in the
Just believe in
previews,
yourself.
yeah, my
You
gut
can do it.
feels like that might be the big game of the year. Like that may be one of them, right? So
Oh, it's
that,
going to be for sure. It'll
yeah.
get nominated at the very
And
least,
my
I
gut
think.
was right because your guys' coverage, everyone's coverage is like, yo, it's one of them. So now I'm like, okay, I
It's
got my
also
eye
very
there.
interesting in that it's the sequel to a game that was extremely good, but very underrated for some reason. I feel like it
Yes.
didn't sell well. I don't know a lot of people have played it. It kind of reminds me of the original Borderlands versus
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands 2. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be their Borderlands 2 moment.
Mm. And yeah, I'm in this Capcom bag lately too. So yeah, I'm in
Then I
this.
guess you should start playing the Ace Attorney games.
Yo, I started. Get the funny thing. I was about to start it, and I was scolded by Maddie. How dare I play those? Be interested unless you play Danganronpa, which is the superior game. So I was forced to play
Danganronpa
Dangan.
is way worse.
Need you to tell him that. I need to record
I
this
will tell
and
him that.
send this
Danganronpa
to
is
him.
way worse, and I can
Oh,
explain
Way
why,
worse than
and
what?
this is the drama
than
I
Ace
needed,
Attorney.
Oh.
bro.
It's like not even close.
Bro, he will
We need
fight
to
you to
have
the street.
Maddie on just
He
because
will
I
fight.
wanna
Yeah,
sit here with
he
the
will fight
popcorn.
you, bro. This is how it all started, Trav. It was
Oh,
a
this is
Nintendo
funny.
Direct, right? We're just reviewing it, and I'm like, yo, there was this game called Ace Attorney. It looked really, really cool. And the guy, objection. I was like, oh, that looked fun. It looked like a lawyer game, something I would be interested in checking out. Just the art style looked cool. Oh, I can't believe you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, that is no one, should even result to that. But he kind of, how can I want to frame him correctly. It was kind of like, oh, the casuals know about that, but the real ones play Danganronpa. That's how he sold it to me. And he was like,
Oh
don't
boy.
even disrespect yourself by even attempting to play at Ace Attorney. And I was literally forced to play this game for Divided Dude. And
First
I'm
of
like,
all,
all right.
Danganronpa wouldn't exist without Ace Attorney.
Mm,
It's
give me the
so
history. Give me the
based
deep
off
lore.
of Ace Attorney that they actually directly reference it in the games. So it's like if you're gonna stand on the shoulders of giants and then look at those giants and be like, oh, they ain't shit, it's gonna be like, all right, well, remember whose shoulders you're standing on, bitch. That's what I gotta say
Woo!
to that one.
Is
And
that
also,
that?
when it comes to localization and
Mhm,
writing, the
mhm,
localization and writing in Ace Attorney is I think it's probably the best localized game ever to come out of
mhm,
Japan. It's so good that
mhm,
in fact people who are in Japan and speak Japanese as their native language
mhm.
prefer the English version a
Wow.
lot of times
Wow.
because they had to make changes to the world building to make some of the stuff make sense in the backstory, and it takes place in LA canonically and all that
Mhm,
stuff. Um, that it actually ends up being like benefiting from it. I don't
mhm,
know who does the localization for that team, but they should do
mhm,
like everything because
mhm,
it even makes stuff like Infinite Wealth, which I love, but a lot of the localization needs
Yeah.
work in that game. They have like it's like really overwritten. It has stuff like
Yeah.
that, which there's some of that in Ace Attorney, but it's nowhere near that level.
Mhm.
And then just in terms of like a story that makes sense and doesn't do like random ass pulls, like
Yeah.
everything that happens in Ace Attorney
That's
feels
a
earned.
phrase. Sorry.
Random
Yeah,
ass
you've
pull.
never heard that? An ass
No.
pull, like you pulled it out of your ass.
Oh, that phrase
Like
I've
the
heard. The other one I hadn't. That's all.
the
The other one
twists
sounds
that
very
happen
aggressive.
in Danganronpa are so out of pocket and so unearned that they're just as likely to make you roll your eyes and like scoff as they are to make you like impressed that they pulled off that twist. Like a lot of them are just like, "Oh, come on. Are you joking?
Well,
Really?" Like
I'ma
it's like
start
stuff like
trouble.
that. But when you get to the twist
See?
in Ace Attorney, you're like, "Oh, that's clever. I didn't see that coming, but they totally set it up." They do a lot of better foundational
I'ma
setup, I
start
think.
trouble.
So
I think it's still in Game Pass. And I think I'm up next week, E, for Game Pass pick of the week. I think I'm gonna
Oh,
start
Ace
trouble. I'm
Attorney.
gonna make it my Game Pass pick of the week.
Yeah, it just means
you
Travis is going to
should.
be on Duke with you the following week. That's all that
I'll
means.
show up.
I know you
I will
will.
show up to defend Ace Attorney. I mean, I get why people like Danganronpa because it's edgier and darker, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like fewer people know about it, so it must be cooler. It's like,
Yeah, that's
okay,
what he's on.
in some cases, the other game is more popular because it is just a better game, which is definitely the
Oh,
case
I'm gonna start
in this
trouble.
case.
Oh, yeah, get the
So,
Capcom butters. Okay, Capcom butters. Yeah.
That's going to be fun to listen
Oh, I
to
got,
hear
yeah,
about
oh, I
later
got
on.
this.
the original trilogy is great, Cog, but it is a
Mm,
little bit slow, and it has, especially
Rough.
2 and 3, they have some gameplay
Mhm,
decisions that are a little weird. But once you get through those games, which are completely enjoyable even with their
mhm,
flaws, the
mhm,
new ones they cut through all the garbage and
mhm.
really
Get to it.
focus in on story, and they fix a lot of the kind of annoyances of the old games. And
Mhm,
they for my money, the Ace
mhm.
Attorney series is one of the maybe the best story in gaming, in
Oh,
my opinion,
wow.
the best
Wow.
ongoing story. It's
Wow.
so good. I've been wanting to hear what happens next for a really long time. And if you do need to be sold on
Mhm.
the games for the writing
Yeah.
before you play any of the Ace Attorney games, you could actually play the creator's game right before Ace Attorney, which is also on Game Pass. It's
Let's
called
go.
Ghost Trick.
Okay.
Ghost Trick. And that game you can beat in like 2 or 3 hours probably. Maybe I'm overselling that. It might be a little bit longer, but it's like a puzzle game you can beat pretty quick.
Go trick
And
one.
that story is so well written and good and full of surprises and
Mhm,
really memorable moments that if that game jives with you,
mhm.
then I can say, all right, well then invest in all of the Ace Attorney games because they're
Good
absolutely
looking.
worth it.
Yeah, send Game Pass.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna check it
Ghost
out.
Trick just got
Mhm,
Teddy's saying in the comments, it just
mhm.
got kind of remastered
On
and
modern
it's on
consoles.
modern consoles. So
Nice.
absolutely worth checking that one
I'll
out.
check them out. I'm gonna start trouble next week. I'm playing them.
Uh-oh, somebody's saying Ace Attorney has nothing on the payoff of Danganronpa V3.
Oh, they
Yeah,
see
I
Danganronpa gang.
I
There you
think
go.
he's confusing payoff with, the kind of M. Night Shyamalan-esque twists, which I will admit the twists in Danganronpa are
Pretty sick.
bigger. I just don't think that they're earned,
Okay.
to be
Do you
honest.
think that
And also
it's
you have to spend a lot of time in like the pessimistic kind of edgelordian world of Danganronpa that is
Mhm.
that
very
sounds like Maddie's
depressing.
world though. That
That is
does.
that Maddie
Yeah.
loves
It
that.
Yeah, it
it's
just
very,
sounds
like,
like him.
depressing it's, like, very
Super
depressing and, like,
depressing.
"Oh,
Dark.
society's messed up, so maybe a
Yep.
bunch of kids killing each other really isn't so bad," and it's like, "Alright, dude, come on." Whereas Ace Attorney is, like, shamelessly wholesome as hell. Like, it's just
Yeah.
very wholesome, and it deals with death, and there's murders and betrayals and stuff, but, like, it's about friendship. It's like a typical anime, story,
Oh, it's
so
on. It's
very,
on.
very cool.
I'ma start trouble. I can't
Speaking
wait. Thank
of
you for that.
twists, I was gonna ask
Mhm.
you guys. I don't know why it made me think of it because you're saying attorney and everything else that happened. Have you guys ever seen the movie Fracture? It's
I have
Ryan
not.
Gosling and Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
Watch it
Those are both
sometime.
cool dudes.
Yeah. You got Rosamund Pike in there as well. Go watch it. It's an For a twist, I thought it was good. And Anthony Hopkins is always just damn good. But Fracture's
Reliable.
yeah, Fracture was a good movie. And it's just kind of
Nice.
one of those I don't want to say too much because you got to watch it, but if you can find I don't even know if it's streaming anywhere. It's so old at this point, but
Gosling. Okay. 2007. All right. We'll check it out.
2007. For some reason, the aughts were like the year people really started doing like twists a lot in their movies. Like I think
Mm.
from like 98 to like through the aughts, there were like really twist heavy movies. You ever notice that? And then they kind
Yeah,
of died off, and now it's really just about like action and hugging people.
direction for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Mhm.
2007, actually, like I don't think I ever finished it before, but I finally watched Sunshine. I forgot the cast in that movie is like kind of stacked because you got
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
no,
You
just
mean?
Sunshine. It's a
Oh.
sci-fi one where they're trying to. It's like a sci-fi end of the world thing where they're trying to restart the sun. It's kind of a ridiculous premise if you think about it, but the actors in there are there's just quite a few of them. It's got Wong from Doctor Strange. He's in there, and it's like 17 years ago, so all these guys are a lot thinner and stuff. It's got Chris Evans in there, um, Michelle Yeoh's in there. I know I'm forgetting people too, quite a few, but Cillian
Yeah.
Murphy's in there after just watching some stuff.
You know, a movie's old when you're measuring its date by like people's body changes.
Oh, and yeah,
Yes.
no, it's weird because I
Mhm.
saw because
Yeah.
Wong in Doctor Strange, he's a little bigger, like he's filled out a bit, like as
Yeah.
he's aged. But in
Mhm.
this one, man, dude is not. He is like
Yeah.
he's leaner. I was
He's yoked.
going. I don't know if he's yoked in this one, but no, he was leaner. But no, it's just I was like, damn, forgot all those people were just. It's funny to find those movies. You ever watch an older movie and be like, all of you are doing different like famous things now, but you kind of had an earlier start and you
Earlier
catch them
start,
before,
yeah, to kind of
and it's
see them
just like a
catch them
big
before they
group.
blew up.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are
I love
always
that.
fun to find. I feel like I'm missing
Mhm.
Yeah, like that,
Roseburn. That's another one in there.
like those commercials for the Street Shark action figures that Vin Diesel did. Have you guys seen those?
I have not. That's hilarious. Sounds
Oh,
hilarious.
you guys should watch them. There's like these videos of Vin Diesel playing with Street Shark characters and just talking about how cool the Street Sharks are. And it's like
Now I finally figured out why I crossed this path
it,
because it's got Hiroyuki
it's very
Sanada,
funny.
the guy in Shogun.
Got it.
I want to watch
Oh,
Shogun. I
Seth is
have
in
not
there.
started it yet. I need to.
Seth says Street Shark was the best.
He's right.
Street Shark.
Seth, you're on the money. Street Sharks. That theme song, dude. Goated. Goated theme
Street
song.
Shark.
Street Shark. I'm gonna check
God.
this out.
Sunday morning cartoons, man. Gotta get your Street Shark in.
We had
Oh,
different
Teddy said
cartoons
Shogun,
growing up.
very good.
Shogun is very good.
I
That's
gotta
I've
check
only
that out.
heard
I'm
amazing
looking.
stuff about it. I
Yeah.
figured I
on
thought
my
you might have
list.
watched it by now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to. That's
So
when I
many
that's when I
things.
got to take my time, go upstairs, watch on the OLED with the lights off. I want the good viewing.
Mhm.
I feel like we fell off the gaming podcast rails for my
Yeah,
bad.
we fell
By
off
the
a long
way,
time.
totally
That's
my
fine.
bad.
Definitely off of the Destiny podcast
Yeah, we
rails
got
a while
Yeah.
ago,
after
but
that
yeah,
quick.
Yeah. I mean,
it's okay.
at this point, yeah, Guardian games will hang out, but I mean, next week is still going to be the
There's
same.
not a ton.
I mean, there
It's
was a
still gonna
twit.
be slow until Final Shape,
I
I
was like,
think.
there was a
Even
twid,
after Into the Light.
but we
Mhm.
talked about it because we talked about Guardian games. That's
Yeah,
everything
we
that
Yeah.
was
kinda
in
covered
there.
everything.
Every time
with
they
it.
have an event, that's their entire twid.
Yeah.
Wob.
But they even went over like, hey, you can collect the cards in the app. They even tweeted today about the whole
Yeah,
emote
I
finisher thing.
saw that.
They tweeted about the emote finisher thing, and I'm like, that's
A
still
lot of y'all
technically not
don't seem to
enough.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you don't
That's
tell
right.
them, and it's not obvious, and it's something we've never
Mhm.
done any other time in the game. And I will say the annoying part about that is maybe something else after 3 years. Give me
Yeah.
another way to get like score the points or something. I don't know. But
Oh,
the whole
you're preaching to the choir here, E.
I
You're
know. I
preaching to the choir
know.
here.
give me a different way to get medals besides the insult to injury emote and then finish. I'm like, I've been doing this for years. Come on. It's like,
I know. I know. One day we're getting there slowly. We got hoverboards though. We got skimmers.
hoverboards
I
are
hope you
legit. I skipped the entire
ready to buy
Sparrow
'em.
section in Prophecy. I earned
Mhm.
my, that's why I'm here. I earned my one. I don't have to
Mhm.
buy one.
Nice.
That's all. That's why I'm here.
I'm impressed with myself that I stayed strong and didn't just straight buy it just yet. Very impressed.
How
Well,
long is that going to
the
last?
only
Though?
reason you don't buy it right off the bat is because they give you a temporary one until you earn your full, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Because it lasts to the end of Guardian games.
The event,
And then,
exactly.
Yep.
And then you get to
Good point.
keep it if you. And the fact that they sold one means that they can't take it out of the game.
Which is the commitment to this play style. That's why I'm surprised. This is a very
Yeah. Sparrows.
game-breaking kind of thing.
Very surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. What if any philosophy changes are happening? Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, it looks like the previews are going out for Rise of the Ronin. Have fun, everybody. Enjoy.
I'm not jealous
I'm
at
I'm
all.
100% jealous, but still have fun. I'll
Bro,
be
I
honest,
felt that
man.
way.
Like, yeah, it's
Bro,
like I know
I
that
felt that
PlayStation.
way.
I know that
Not to
PlayStation
cut you.
bubble's hard to get into. Yeah, it's like I get it.
Bro, I literally felt that way as a person who's playing Tekken for 30 years.
Oh no, I know. I think you
And I'm
mentioned that
seeing
one.
content creators get it. Have fun. You're playing the preview version. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, and that's kind of
But I
the
had to
thing.
get
It's
over
like no
myself.
one has ever meant you are not like
Yeah,
deserving of a
I'm not
code or any of that
deserving.
bullshit. I'm like, I get it. It's like
It's
I can
cool.
throw my hat
It's
in the
cool.
ring. I'm not big enough. I get it. It's totally fine.
I'll cry the
Doesn't mean I
car.
don't want to play it.
I'll get through it.
It's like doesn't mean I don't want to play it right now, but that's fine. Especially this early, man. See, this is amazing timing. If you
Yeah,
could
'cause then
actually
you
get it early, like March
and knock
7th,
it
I'm like,
out.
do you know
Yeah.
how much time that would be for these
I
two
feel
games that
you.
are stacked on top of each other?
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Apparently, I got to work my way into an outlet.
We grinding. We grinding. We
No,
gonna beat
just-
Travis one day. One day we gonna get there.
Yeah.
Do you actually want to work for an outlet?
Ooh.
Oh, I mean,
Oh,
I would be.
Is that your final destination?
I
I thought you
don't.
liked being solo.
independent.
Would be an interesting
Ooh.
discussion to understand like the differences for sure. Like it would be.
Ooh.
I'm not against it. It would just I would be curious how that would make sense
Mhm.
with the channel and everything. Like because I
Mhm.
know plenty of people still work in games and do channels, but it's also what you can and can't talk about and stuff like that. So it'd just be
Right.
it would be an interesting one because do you do this and if you cover this stuff for us, you can't put it on yours, but you can still do all of your stuff and keep them separate and you're fine. You know, I would be open, but also on the other side,
It's basically like you just can't make personal content with any access that you got from whichever outlet you're from.
yeah.
So like if they gave you a code to a game, you couldn't review it on IGN and then also review it on your own
You know,
account. You
yeah.
have to, yeah.
Ooh.
Pick
He
and
has
choose.
thoughts. Ooh.
Send me into this chat when it happens. I have thoughts.
I don't have codes that rise
He-
to the road.
Sorry, he spelled thoughts wrong.
There's Midnight down there. Say hi to Midnight, guys.
Oh,
Here's Mr. Bond.
Midnight. Salute. It's my first time seeing Midnight actually pull up during stream.
Oh, he walks around my desk all the time. So
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
what's
he's
up.
over
I haven't
here.
yet to meet you, sir. I haven't yet to meet you.
He's our
Nice
resident.
clean
He's
Xbox.
yeah.
I like the white ears internally. We're feeling that.
Oh, that's all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
One less
Salute.
now, but
One less now. One less now.
Your dog is goofy looking.
Yo.
buddy.
The Midnight. Salute.
Long snouted jackal, one and all.
I love it. Where's Enzo? Enzo's the one.
Enzo's passed out in the other room. He's chill.
Oh, okay. Still
Yeah,
You have a
Three
dog
geeks.
named Enzo?
I do.
I have a friend named Enzo. So
Oh, okay.
we named the
Yes.
dog Indiana.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You got three
Shout out to
geeks.
3 Geeks for $5. Hashtag dog noises. Hashtag dog tax.
There you go.
That's a new one. I
Nice.
don't.
I
don't
think
know
that's supposed
that
to be
one.
like Xbox tax. Like you get taxed because you have dogs. I don't know.
I'm not sure. You're gonna have to explain that
Maybe
one.
he
3 Geeks.
maybe he lives in a state where there is a tax for owning dogs. I would
That's one of the
support
reasons
tax.
my wife and I got a house because we were looking at apartments to get together
Oh yeah.
and trying to get an apartment with any like certain breeds of dogs. You may as well just kiss your butt goodbye. So then we ended up. Dog. See, now he's just chilling down here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just hanging.
He just hanging. He just
got-
hanging.
Chilling.
Mm-hmm.
He is hilarious.
Shout out to the Midnight.
He does parkour on our couch.
Are you serious? Oh wow. It's hilarious.
Poor couch.
It's pretty resilient so far. Shout out to the Love Sack like sectionals couches that you can buy, where you buy all the
Ooh.
pieces and then you can kind of rearrange them. They're quite durable, I've learned from him, so I will vouch for their durability. They have held up to quite a
Yes.
bit. No, we got him at like 9 months as a rescue, as opposed to the other ones we got at like 6 weeks, where they were so small they didn't know they could get on a couch, and then we never let them. So Ryan Enzo never got on furniture. First thing he did, boom. And then we're like, get off, get off, get off. And he just kept thinking it was a game, and finally he won.
Wow. So he just purchased?
He just eventually broke. Oh yeah, I mean, no, I'll walk in there and he's just sacked out
Wow.
on the
That's
couch.
hilarious.
He is the cozy. I mean, I've posted a couple pics on Twitter,
Yeah,
but
you
he is the
posted pictures.
coziest looking dog sometimes.
It's a
And
rough
he is
life.
just squishy face into the blanket. Yeah, he's.
It's a rough life.
Oh
Gotta
yeah,
love it.
we do our best to give him a pretty good life in here, but yeah, he keeps us on our toes and also enjoys screaming in husky fashion. It's fine. The balance.
That one of those?
Not so much like an
Wow.
actual, like, not the stereotypical howl. It's actually much goofier than that. I can't
It's
really
the
always.
goofier.
It's goofier.
Can you encourage it? Can you instigate it? Because some dogs you can like if you make sounds while they do that,
We've done
they
it a
respond.
couple times, but they
Mm,
really don't. It's got to be something that
okay.
gets them to do it. Whether it's like, they somehow they can know a dog is walking on the other side of the street out there. They just know it, and they'll
Mhm.
go bark at the window or whatever and stuff
Know
like
it.
that. If you can hear a squirrel in our backyard on the fence, they'll go darting out the back door if it's open. But actually, the only thing I can get him to do, because they never do it, like we'll play like tug of war a little bit, but if I get kind of up in his face, I can get him to
Yeah.
growl a little bit at me. And I was like,
There you
dude, that is
go.
the cutest growl. And he's like, "Rrr." I'm like, you are adorable, but you're not
Yes.
scary. Yeah.
Training. Gotta
Yeah.
gotta train them well.
That is literally the opposite of what I'm doing. He's just, I try and get the growl out of him. He normally won't do it, but
It's fun.
rarely. Yeah.
It's fun.
No, he's.
Dogs. We all know about them.
Yep.
hmm We love them.
Well, this podcast, I think, has gone everywhere.
hmm
And we're still under an hour and 45 minutes right now. So, in proper
Good.
fashion, anything else to say before we wrap this thing up, gentlemen?
No, nice one.
We
Nice
love you.
little, little respite, little comeback for a second for a nice little event. We know it's gonna be slow. We
Yeah.
got things to play. But nice little cool distraction. I thought, and I jump in, jump
That's
out.
right.
Yeah.
We get ready for the big stuff. But that's all that's going on with me.
Yeah. Hoverboard's a W. Try and
Yes.
fix the quality of life over the scoring, since that's like one of
Mhm.
your things. And if it's the Hunter Games of 2024, then so be it. All I got.
Not ready. I'm not ready to accept that yet, but we're gonna let that.
Oh, I
run.
gave up. I gave up on the first day when I just saw the ratio. I was like, oh, this is not even
Yeah,
close.
This is not even close, but
No.
we're just dealing with it right now.
All right. Well, for episode number 287, you guys know that means we have, 13 to go to 300. So a couple months
Yeah.
here.
Better start planning.
Gotta start planning something.
It's
have
right around
one-
when the new games, when the final shape launches.
I
yeah,
have a
yeah,
guest
right
in
around.
mind that I already reached out to. I just got to see if it's going to come together. I'll tell you guys after the show who it was. But
No doubt.
other than that, thank you guys all. Enjoy your gaming, whatever game you are playing right now, whether it be Destiny, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Pacific Drive. Check it out. It's fun. Or little Metroidvanias that are all over the place. I was playing a demo for one called Biomorph. One of these, like, butter smooth demos I've played in a while, but also the concept's kind of cool for a Metroidvania. So kind of a fun one.
Yes.
All right.
Our
Well,
guest for the 300th episode should be Destin Legary, because he's like the angel of death for 300th episodes.
we
me
can
and
have him
the
on for
show.
301, because if we do it at 300, I'm
No.
afraid.
No, 300. Let's get him here, and then we know that's going to be the last episode, no matter what happens.
That I have questions. I mean, unless you're just trying to be done with the
has
podcast. If
really
that's how
been.
you want to go out, then you got to let me know in
It's
advance.
it's like being in a hospital bed and seeing John Cena come in. Like, it's over for you if he shows up.
Oh no.
That's not great.
Oh,
All right, well, gentlemen,
man.
it's been a pleasure. And for this episode,
Cool.
thank you all for being here. Chat, you guys have been fun. If you listen to us later, review us with 5 stars or thumbs up or whatever you can do on the platforms. And thank you very much. But for this one, it has been
The
last word.